Hello everyone and welcome to Prestige Encounters. I am your Dungeon Master Salkos and this is a D&D campaign brought to you by Prestige Gaming Community. Before we get to the session tonight, we are back from Emerald City Comic Con. We are here and you know, it's a really good time. I feel like I'm kind of blurry, but we'll worry about that later. Anyway, we have a great session for you, but before we get into that, we have a few important announcements to get through. First and foremost, a lot of the music you'll be hearing tonight is brought to you by Midnight Syndicate. Midnight Syndicate is a music production group creating goth, horror, and fantasy RPG music that you could be using at your tables at home. You can find more information on midnightsyndicate.com or watch your music videos on YouTube. You can go to Spotify to find their music, and even ask your Amazon Alexa device to play Midnight Syndicate right now. We do have the command in our chat, !midnight, for a direct link to their website. And a huge thank you to Midnight Syndicate. If you're a game master who wants to bring a more immersive experience to your tables, we utilize the tool Arkenforge. It is a comprehensive software tool for game masters and dungeon masters alike to immerse their players further into the worlds that they create and the stories that they weave together. They offer playlists, they offer ambient sounds, like let's say you're in the middle of a city and you want to have a market sounds around, like people with indistinct conversations and the sounds of random dogs barking that are in the street. You can do that. And you also can do sound effects like the sound of a majorly large stone door opening or closing, or the sound of a crow that sounds like a cow, and a majority of other things. It is typically $35 USD on their website, arkenforge.com, to buy it. But if you use the code Prestige at checkout, you get $5 off. Whoa, $5 off. That sounds pretty great to me. We also have this amazing bust portrait of that's right here. And you know, let's go ahead and show you everybody else's as well. Hello, everybody else.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
So we have all of these amazing character portraits. The line art was done actually by Jeremiah right here, who is Slimy Rice on our Discord. But the color was also done by Starving Artists. You can commission both these artists by going into our Discord and finding their information. They have very fair pricing for the amazing work that they do. So huge amount of talent, and you know, I actually got to meet Jeremiah in person this past week in Seattle, so it was a grand old time. We had a ton of fun. We have 2 of our trivia day videos up there where we're asking random people, and tomorrow you're gonna be surprised about who got all the questions right versus who did not. So that was an interesting experience as well. So yes. And another sponsor for tonight's session is Rogue Energy, and here to tell us about Rogue Energy is our very own Jeremiah.
Wow, Rogue Energy. I wonder what that is. Oh, it's a amazing energy drink that so happy to be partnered with. I will tell I've had nothing but great experiences. So far I've tried their blue raspberry and pina colada flavors. And they are just great. I've used them to energize myself before a session, which I definitely have. I chugged this thing, and helps beat some energy before work in place of something like some other brands that don't really stack up to Rogue Energy. A great thing about Rogue Energy is that chalky feeling in your you know, take a sip or finish your drink, and you could use it as a nice you know, kickstart, or if you are really into a pre-workout, and all this. And you can go to their website and use code Prestige at checkout for 10% off.
Let us buy you some energy. That's our tagline, by the way. That was our middle name even before we got sponsored by Rogue Energy.
Via discounts.
But yeah, by discount.
Yes.
It's on us, but like a certain portion of it is on us.
Like 10% of that cost is on us.
That's right. That's not nothing. Anyway.
Also, if you're a coffee lover like myself, I drink coffee every single day. The people who were at Seattle with me could also attest to that. As soon as I woke up, I immediately made a pot of coffee and went back upstairs and like did my hair, which was a whole process. You know how it is. Anyway, we utilize the great coffee blends of Found Familiar Coffee. They are a small business located here in America that makes coffee roasts based off of different Dungeons and Dragons aspects, such as, you know, they have the Face Step, they have regular Null, which is their espresso blend. If you don't want to be caffeinated but you still love that taste of coffee, they have False Life, which is their decaf blend. Both multiple and single origins, you can get them ground or whole bean. Code Prestige at checkout for 10% off for that as well. So that's pretty cool. And it's foundfamiliar.com/prestige encounters to get to that link, and then code Prestige at checkout for that 10% off. And hooray to coffee. 2 more announcements to get through. Actually 3. 4, I lied. You might notice that down in the lower left-hand corner of the stream, we are currently sponsored by Babbel. That sponsorship is only going on for 3 more days. You can start learning the language and have a basic communication level in less than 2 weeks if you really stick to it and learn. I'm personally learning Italian right now. Had to take a break as I was, you know, across the country, but fantastic learning service. I have really enjoyed it. I'm someone who really enjoys learning other languages, especially a second romance language. I took Spanish in high school, and Italian's coming to me a lot more easily than like Japanese has been. So it's pretty great. A lot of language options, things ranging from romance languages, like I mentioned, from Italian to Spanish to even Indonesian, and other languages like that. Russian as well. It's fantastic. Go check it out and get up to 60% off. And make sure you utilize our link. You have to utilize our link to support us and keep the subscription for at least 20 days. You cannot cancel your subscription for within 20 days if you want to support our stream. But it is definitely worth it for for $15 to try it out for the first month. I love it. Expand your knowledge, travel the world, impress some locals. It's a great time. Also, in my hand, I have a bag, and in this bag there are some clicky clacks, and those clicky clacks are made of jasper. So we have some math rocks here that we're giving out in our Discord community this month. These are jasper gemstone dice from Modern Artifice, a company that we met at Comic-Con, who presented us with these dice to do a giveaway with. So look at that. Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. They're like these black jasper stone. As you're watching this stream, our procedure counter streams are double bones. So if you're a regular viewer, you get 1 bone. Wait, what's it? You get 2 bones every 5 minutes. If you're a subscriber, you get 10 bones every 5 minutes. So it's a great time. It's 100 bones to enter into the giveaway minimum, and you can enter as many times as you want, and you can enter as many times between now and then. Like if you want to turn in 1,000 bones for 10 entries now, and then turn in 15 more entries a day before the deadline, you're allowed to do all of that for these dies, and these dies are worth like $60. So get yourself a really nice quality dice set that are just really sturdy and fantastic. I love gemstone dice. I've almost had a total party kill every single time, so it's absolutely fantastic. Their product is wonderful, and I really like this company. So enter into that raffle. And we also have
buy you the next TPK.
It's on us, guys.
10% off, a small portion of the TPK.
And for all of our giveaways, it is raffle giveaways. It is for America and Canada only, excluding Quebec. So, you know, because they have giveaway laws. But yeah, keep that in mind, because we're also giving out plastic dice during the session. You might notice in the bottom right hand corner of our stream, there is a number that says natural ones a session. For every 5 that they roll, we give away a set of dice to a lucky viewer who's in our stream. So hooray. We have a ton of dice to give away. So, you know, hopefully we get a lot of natural ones. So am I forgetting anything? I feel like I'm forgetting something. There's a lot to update over the last 2 weeks, guys.
Dice check.
Dice check. We played you guys played a in-person one-shot last week.
We did on 3 days ago on Sunday. We did an in-person one-shot. It was really great. We had a TV to use as our virtual board and everything. So it was really fun. Oh, dice! These are my
cool.
Micah dice.
Yeah.
So
It was so much fun hearing about that in-person D&D game.
All right. Doesn't count, but I just rolled a natural 1.
Oh, wonderful.
You know what? Just because we have so many dice to give away, we'll count it.
Okay.
So everybody grab your drinks, grab your snacks as we welcome you to our table, and we are now beginning session 30 of Prestige Encounters. Oh my gosh, guys. And do you know what else?
Yeah.
Happy 3-year anniversary.
Oh my god. What's a 30th
3 years.
anniversary?
You
It's a
remember-
set of dice, right?
Whoa.
So
What'd you get me?
that 3 years of Prestige Encounters, session 1 happened during the height of the pandemic 3 years ago. Holy
When we all
crap.
got married.
Yeah. And it took 3 years for you guys to meet in person
Yeah.
and play a game at a table.
It was crazy.
It's a modern relationship.
To be fair, for 2 years of that, it was no travel. So, yeah, no.
Michael, am I hearing that yours means 3 sets of dice?
Well, we can give out some dice this session too. It's fine.
It's just pressuring to like all the dice.
All the dice. We have so much dice to give.
Super Dice Mega giveaway.
And so yeah, I'm having a little bit of sound issues apparently. There it is. Cool. So last time on Prestige Encounters 2 weeks ago, the Seekers went into the Celestial Dungeon where they were tasked to find an infernal focus for the Archmage of the Black Order, the demonic faction of the Mages Guild within the armed forces of Yundobalig, the High Elven Kingdom. The exchange for this task was information on how to cure both Aspid and Astra's tribe of their fungal infection that has drained them of their life essence, turning them into stone. Ithlondo Lucina, the Archmage, promised them this information if they were to get this infernal focus, this twisted mage with demonic appendages and mutations to her flesh. Enter the dungeon, they found many traps and a little bit of trap seekingness frenzy where they were worn down throughout the entire dungeon in this maze and labyrinthous dungeon crawl as they continued on. Aspen sacrificing his arm during one such puzzle to allow the party to move forward in their endeavor. At the end of this dungeon, they found an angel, celestial being, a lieutenant of the god Alnor, one of the 2 sons, to warn them that he was tasked with defending this infernal focus from anyone, no matter what the reasoning may be. He possessed a massive stone golem that gave the party a very MMORPG boss vibe as it attacked them. And then after the statue was destroyed, he himself came out in his spirit form to attack the party. About every single party member went down except for Cormac and Astra. Kydro being revived multiple times to bring everybody back, Casimir losing his life. But Kydro nonetheless dealt the fatal blow to the lieutenant, allowing them to retrieve the infernal focus. It was here that the demon that was possessing the focus made himself known, the party striking a bargain with him to revive Casimir from his death, which he agreed to. With Sapphire gone and Casimir resurrected, the party exited the dungeon to be confronted with a supposed fisherman. Aspen immediately catching on to who this person was, using detect magic, which burned his eyes from his raw power, magical power that he possessed. The fisherman revealed himself to be one of the gods of this world, the son of Alnor and Nima, warning the party that their actions by killing one of his favorite lieutenants and breaking the curse that his mother gave to a noble family, that they have in fact angered these celestial beings. the party was given a vision of the war between the infernal beings, the demons, and the gods that took place many, many years ago. And we're told if they continue on this path, they will not only bring darkness on the world, but face the wrath of the gods themselves. You are sitting next to a forest along the bank of a river. You have leveled up to level 7. You have rested long enough to regain all of your strength.
No more exhaustion.
No more exhaustion.
Ah,
What would you all like to do? It
We
was
should
Runar
collect-
that you met, by the way.
We should collect our horses.
Astra is going to do a bit of thinking on the day, and she feels a bit woeful about what may be ahead.
Zol is lying on the beach, sand kind of all through his hair and stuff. His eyes closed, he's got his fingers pressed to his temples, and he's trying to capture that image that he just saw. It was like a dream, and he's trying to recall it again. The image of the gods fighting. And the enemy as well, and what they looked like. And if Michael, if you could tell me what that image is that's coming to his head, what does he see?
Go ahead, for the sake of this, make a wisdom check.
Okay. Oh, that is a 5.
A 5. It's blurry. It's kind of when you experience a major event in your life, like many people describe like their wedding, they can't quite remember their own ceremony, that sort of thing. It's hazy, but you get flashes of carnage and waste. There are bodies polluting the ground.
This wizard, this professor who wants us to take this thing back to for the one who is going to help us, but who made us kill that angel. I wonder if she knows what she is doing.
Considering all of the physical deformities she bears because of her past decisions, I wouldn't be surprised if she does. But I do not plan to seek help from her. I need to.
Only to find your family. But first we must give her this sting.
Yeah. This interaction is purely transactional.
So what if the gods get mad at us? It'll just be great training. We get to fight gods. Like, it's the best thing we could be fighting. Nothing stronger than a god.
Do gods die?
Only one way
Maybe.
to find out.
Casimir knows.
Well, are we with the horses?
So as you approach where you parked your horses, the first thing you see is this very large furry creature. It has a very broad nose, kind of a stout forehead, but also like this long snout, and it's like bulbous in the back. Like it looks up, it's like sniff in the air, and then you realize that there is something mounting it with as it's pulling like this cart along. Does anybody want to make a nature check?
Yeah. Hello.
Absolutely.
I'll sniff the air in the meantime for any encroaching threats.
Yeah, make a perception check.
Aspen, make the check with advantage.
Yeah.
If I help.
I rolled a dirty 20.
Yeah,
Dirty.
so this animal is called a capybara, but is a large capybara. and riding along it is this dragonborn. Very pale blue scales with kind of like a cloudy look to them where they almost look white. And he's very old looking. And he's kind of pulling along this cart, and then he like has stopped near your horses.
Our poorly disguised horses.
Yes, they were very easy to spot.
Aspen had like a scowl on after that interaction with the god, and he looks, after he sees us, he looks over. Astra, look how big that rodent is.
Incredible. We should investigate.
That's not a rodent,
We
that's a
should.
bear.
Do you think you can become something like that?
Excuse me, sir.
Oh,
She's gonna start approaching.
Kind of like holding the
Yeah,
reins and
me
like
too.
looking over you with like a very shaky head. It's like this unbelievably old looking dragonborn. Dragonborns live to be about 60 years on the high end. He looks like he's several hundred years old. He has no teeth. His lips are kind of shriveled in, and he looks at you and he goes, "Bro, what is up?"
Hello. Good
Ah,
morning.
excuse me, uncle. My friend wants to ask you about your rat.
Yes.
Oh, Lucy, man, like totally cool. And with
Where
that
did you get
last
him?
word, you watch as like another wrinkle appears on his face, like his skin gets slightly more wrinkled.
Is that normal? Can I detect magic on this individual?
Yeah, if you want to cast detect magic, you can.
I would
Just
sure
another
like to do
god.
that. Right? Watch it happen.
Get another scene ready for us as we get pulled into another flashback to another time.
So, is this a ritual casting, or are you just using the spell slot?
It should just be.
Because if it's ritual
It could
casting, it
also
takes
be
10
like
minutes.
what-
So it's
I
gonna
want
take
to
you some time.
use my furball one.
Okay.
And
And is
it's
that
just a casting.
okay? So
It's just one time cast, yeah.
he's wearing some magical things, but there's nothing like magical about his form, similar to when you met Ruar. He's like, bro, like dead ass. I was really worried. I just saw these horses here with a little bit of branches on them. I thought there were some really injured mad people here, man. It was rough. Another wrinkle appears.
Are you dying actively right now? I'm a little concerned.
Oh no, man, I just had this curse put on me by a witch. Now, as I talk, I grow older. I'm like 23, man.
So, have you considered not
Let's go.
talking as much? Like maybe just hold back, because as somebody who recently died, you don't want to do that.
Does the curse work with languages that are not vocal?
Bro, I tried doing charades on, man. I'm like mad bad at that, dude.
We're gonna kill this man.
No hand language? No writings?
I don't know. I don't really try it. It's kind of hard because I got like arthritis in my hands now, bro. Like,
Whistles?
Astra, let's be kind to this man and not kill him with a conversation.
Perhaps if you spoke in frog.
anyway, bro, are these your horses?
yes.
Yeah.
Those are some real cool mares, my dude.
Hmm.
He's going to walk gleefully to his early death, and it's fascinating.
Anyway, as you can see, I was just riding along the river here. I'm a trader by trade, man. You know, I just like walking up the river. Well, I wasn't walking. I was riding on my capybara. The scale falls off. Anyway, I like
This is
helping
by the
people on the
word.
road. So you know, my name's Atticus Filkendor. Nice to meet you.
Sorry, you don't have to answer this. I'm just kind of curious to know if this is by like the word or by the syllable. But please don't answer. I'm just theoretically.
No,
just
it's
trying to
totally fine. Another like piece of hair falls out. Like I never really tested it, man. I just, I gotta talk. It's kind of like a curse within a curse, bro.
Atticus.
Yeah.
Which did this thing to you? And what? Yesterday? When?
Oh, a couple months ago, really. It gets really intense when there's like a bidding war going on at like an auction,
What?
Oh, like I got a magic wand. I'm like, the fine gentleman up here has 10 gold right here, the golden half, 1 silver, and then like just stuff is falling off as he continues on with this.
It's by the word for sure. This is terrifying.
Quick question. Do I know anything about the scales of a dragonborn? Are they good? Are they kind of, or are they kind of flimsy, especially older in age?
Make a nature check.
Of course.
Astra collects everything.
Keeps talking.
This could be useful. A 14.
Dragonborn scales are not necessarily the same as like dragon scales would be. It's more like the resistance of like a normal iguana. They're not like hard. They shed in that regard. They're rough. They're not soft like skin, but they're not very good for armor.
Perhaps like leather. They could be a decorative item.
I mean,
I'm
all
gonna
skin
start
can be used for
collecting.
leather.
Yeah, I'm gonna start collecting all of these little scales that are falling off as he talks. Just don't mind me.
Hey Atticus, you want to make some money?
Yeah, man, that's like the whole ordeal, man.
All right, I'll make a deal with you. All right. I'm just gonna reach into his coin pack. His coin purse. It's like I'm gonna throw money at you, but you gotta count all of it, okay?
Bro, like dead ass, it's free money, man.
So, are you like cursed to just age forever without dying? Like I like morally, I'm just trying to determine if members of my group are actively trying to kill you just to see.
No,
like,
man, I just am gonna become more decrepit like my grandma until I actually grow to the age in which I should be passing away like in a natural way, unless someone stabs me. But like, bro, I'm like mad resilient.
Ready to count these coins?
Oh God.
I will say that through this curse, you still manage to embellish every sentence that comes out of your mouth.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes consonants are like really hard because my just gums, man. But like, you learn how to work it.
How long have you had this curse?
Oh, like a couple months ago, I was riding along with my capybara, met this woman who got mad at some things I said, man, and she's like, "You talk too much. This is just a curse I'm gonna bestow on you." And then like, bro,
What?
Yeah,
did
I think
she look like?
oh, she had green skin. I really liked her hair. It was kind of oily. Another scale falls off. A couple more, like a little more wrinkles appear. And like she was kind of tall with a hunched back. Green
Okay.
skin. Did I mention green skin? I was more like an olive, really.
Yeah. Stop,
you've
stop,
embellished
stop.
enough. It's okay.
Okay. So I ask you one thing, and then after I say goodbye, you say no more. You go, and we wave. And next time we see you, maybe only 1,000 years, not 10,000, huh? But first, you tell me, which way from here to Ferestyl?
Oh, you just need to head south down the river, man.
Okay. No. And Zol just bows to the guy.
Yeah. Maybe go live on the top of a mountain for like a little bit and just don't say anything. Just, hopefully maybe fulfilling, because I think the takeaway from the curse is that she wants you to talk less, not talk the same amount and then die.
Oh, it's okay. I do a lot of self-care and moisturize and whatnot. It really tightens up the skin.
Not working.
Maybe it's working just enough.
Maybe go see a cleric and see. Yeah, see about
Sorry about that,
getting
man.
this.
I just
Sick. You okay?
allergies.
Stay. Wow. Okay, social distance, huh?
Yes, yes.
Excuse me. If you're going to die soon, what will happen to your capybara?
I was wondering the same thing.
Oh my god.
Lucy, man, she's like super loyal. It's really hard to steer her sometimes. Sometimes she wants to walk right off a cliff.
May I attempt to bond with this animal? Can I try to feed it like a? I'm sure I have a root vegetable in my pack.
Right now, she's munching on some cabbage, super nutritious.
Can I druid craft her cabbage to be even better tasting?
Do you want to talk to her? Huh?
I don't know
mean,
what to say.
Aspen.
Ask
Can
her,
you...
is she okay? Is everything okay?
Hello. How are you?
Oh man, she don't have a thought between her head, man.
Oh, she
It just
really
looks at
does.
you like puffy cheeks,
Uh,
cabbage
Zukifli,
dripping out of its mouth.
will you get your loot?
What?
Will Zukifli, will you get your instrument?
I pull out of its case.
Will you play a tune?
I do some finger dancing, mostly a dexterity exercise, but something rhythmic to do it.
I would like to do a dance to try to impress this very large animal.
What
Okay.
is today?
Make a performance check,
Performance check. Okay.
both of you.
Okay. I would like to use my inspiration.
A natural one.
Oh,
Oh,
21.
if you use your inspiration, it's not gonna get count. But yeah,
What do you mean? What do you mean?
the natural one
Zol's
you
natural
rolled.
one.
That's
Zol's
fine.
natural
I
one.
need
Not
Oh,
that.
Aspen.
Zol has the natural one. Okay, yeah. So
What
that
happened?
does count then.
It happened.
So as soon as you go to pluck the first string, it just snaps.
No.
Cling.
Oh.
That's two now.
Man, do you mind if I try to drop some lines on this music, man?
I have a better idea. So I need you to do something for me, Atticus. So I don't know how many ball bearings are in this bag of ball bearings. I will give you 1 gold to count them. I'm gonna hand him my bag of ball bearings.
Hey, you should tell him the number after you've counted them all.
No, I think you should vocally count them out actually, so that I know how much you're getting to. Otherwise,
Why
I
are you
wouldn't know.
trying to kill this man?
I'm not trying to kill him. I just want to know how many ball bearings I have.
You're trying to kill him. I mean, Kaito, you
No,
tend to just kill people.
I want to make
can
sure I
count
didn't
them
lose
for
any
you.
ball bearings. No, I want him
Pedro.
to.
Okay.
Yeah?
Later, we go to tavern. Huh? You go to your room. You count ball bearing. 1, 2. You count, and then you will know for sure.
I don't want to.
Unless you want to kill this man.
It's good gold. Trust me.
It's 1 piece of gold. I will give him that myself.
Now you get the chance to make 2 gold. It's twice as much.
Bro, I gotta have these special glasses on just so I can see. I'm blind in both eyes, man.
Yeah, I think your right eye is a little. It's not quite in the socket. I don't know if you can push that back in. I don't
He
know
has
how
these
you
like
do that.
glasses, these goggles that are like kind of like sparkling. I got these on primo gold, man. Glasses of blind sight, dude.
Well, I think we should collect our horses and leave before we kill this man with literal conversation.
I'm sorry, I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing you now, dude. Can you speak up?
I have a question for the DM.
Mm-hmm.
Given how much he's spoken, and how much he's aged, I assume he's very frail.
Oh,
Perhaps very weak.
Very frail.
Perhaps a little bit, a small puff of wind could knock him over. Would you, perhaps?
You could always try.
What are we?
What?
While performing this dance for the animal, Astra casts a little bit of druidcraft, a little bit of a wind effect on this incredibly paper-thin, leaf-shaking shell of a man.
What are you trying to do with this?
I'd like to push him off of his mount. I want him to fall on the ground.
Druid. Okay.
Oh my
It's a small, hold on.
I just put it in the chat.
god.
Instantaneous, harmless sensory effect. A puff of wind.
So that
If
wouldn't be
he's
necessarily
so-
anything to like. It's not like gust. It doesn't substitute out for the spell gust. So like, you do this and like it's like a breeze. He's like, man, it's getting really drafty in these woods, dude. I gotta get my shawl out.
Okay. Try something.
Atticus Falkendor, what is your business?
Oh, you know, I'm a used magic salesman, dude.
Oh. Do you sell spells, you said?
I mean, I could always get back here and look. What are you looking for?
Oh. I am very conflicted right now.
You have potions?
Oh yeah, I got some potions I got on wholesale. Not quite sure if they're all good still, but you know, you can take the chance. It's what you get for the discount clearance.
Can you tell me every item in your inventory in alphabetical order?
Yes, that would be helpful.
Kydro, please stop thinking that this man's away.
I mean, if you have an itemized list of what you have available along with pricing, that wouldn't require you to speak it out loud. That would be very useful. Not the reading them all out loud twice to make sure. Casimir now looks conflicted.
What are you looking for? I got like a few items. He's gonna reach back into the cart and pull out this like crate. It's like a 4x5 crate with like these slots in it.
Mhm.
And it has about 19 different potions. I got this blue one. He kind of shakes it. There's like a floating eye in it. I got this one. It has like a wad of hair that's like on fire. He'll put back and he pulls out a couple red ones too. These are healing potions, so you know sometimes people need these.
Okay. How much?
Oh, like which one, dude? Like I
Oh,
just showed you
healing
those
potion.
3D. Oh, healing potions, yeah, man.
Yeah.
These are common. You know, real nice quality. Got them from a really nice witch. They're about 30 gold each.
The same
Normal
witch that
pricing, but they're actually
cost
10
you?
gold each right now, dude.
Oh, 10 only.
Yeah, I got 5 of these things.
Okay. I pull out 5 platinum pieces. Okay. 5.
All right. You'll take the 5
Okay.
platinum. Hold on,
Shall
man. Just let me
I'll
count
add-
this out. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. And that everything's here, man.
Okay. This witch, huh? The same one that cost you?
No, I'm pretty sure it's a different one.
How's your hearing?
Oh, you know, it comes and goes.
Okay. So I'll add potions of questionable quality to my inventory. Okay.
Question.
Questionable worth.
Yes, Astra.
Are we still by the river?
No.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
you're by the waterfall at this point because that's where you parked your horses.
Can we get some geographical approximations real quick? How close is our old man to the waterfall?
He's not like next to it. You're like several tens
20
of feet
feet?
away from the.
20 feet?
No. Like,
30
you,
feet?
you didn't park your horses like within 20, 30 feet. You're like about 60, 70 feet away from.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I've collected enough scales. I assume I've collected many. I would like to reconnect with my horse a little bit. And while I pet the horse, I will look over and I will go ahead and use my handy dandy new spell from my level up. Gust of Wind. I don't know if I can put it in yet.
I think this might be the most active let's try to murder an NPC.
No murder is involved in this. It's
If you
just
can
about
link me that spell, that would be great.
yes, it's on the way. I hope it does not kill him. Searching with my eyes. I cannot link it.
I can always look it up if you don't have it.
Well, yeah, that would have been helpful, but I got it. I just had to reset some stuff. It's all okay. D&D Beyond still loves me.
All right. Well, he's gonna fail the strength save.
Good to know, poor guy.
Oh,
Oops.
I dashed to catch him.
Make a dexterity check, please.
Okay.
Saving throw. Sorry, this would be a saving
Gaze
throw.
reproachfully at Astra as I. It's a 9.
There's
A
no way you
9.
thought to do that.
All right, I'm
You were
still
watching
trying
me?
to pull up Gust of Wind because it didn't give me the description.
I'm gonna find out he's actually a god.
I heard you like mutter the the spell words, wave your hands around, pull out like a legume seed or.
All off your rodent, man.
Astra, but we'll see what happens. I'm curious.
What?
Yeah, so he's gonna get flung from his carriage, and he falls back as O'Kiffley dashes, trying to catch him. The potions go flying in the air, and they splatter on the ground, making like little puffs of different colors as they do so, like little sparks. And he's going to fall. And let me roll a percentile die here.
Oh god.
He hits his head on some rocks.
Astra.
I just
No,
rolled a
okay.
93%.
We go into
Understand.
one dungeon and it's Lord of the
Understand.
Flies.
Okay,
Lord of the Flies,
okay.
like
He's just like bleeding from his ear, like just
He's
like
okay.
mangled old man.
I lift out one of his potions of healing that he sold me. Okay, maybe you can. Maybe this can help, huh?
Are you used the
right.
potion of healing on him?
Yeah. Well, I'm here. Is he conscious? Does he see it?
He's
Am I
not. He
waving
has
in
like
front of
blood
his eyes?
coming out of his ear and his mouth.
Jesus Christ. You know what? Let's
Aspen-
go for it. I'll open the potion of Go.
So you pour the potion in like in his mouth, and he just like starts to
administering it.
vomit up more blood, and his breathing starts to get more shallow.
Aspen,
Oh no.
saying that it's hurt, having a tough time drinking this, he's just gonna utter the words "get up" and cast healing word on him.
Oh my god, I saw my mother, man. Like,
Mhm.
are you just like trying to kill me, like dead ass, bro?
Who are you?
You
Who are-
fell. You fall.
Yeah. Who are you talking? What are you talking about?
You
I'm
fall.
so glad you're okay.
You fall.
You fall. Doo-doo.
Ghost.
Make a deception
now.
check for me, please.
Okay.
I'm Cormac. I'm Zukifli.
Can
we,
you get
uh,
advantage?
I'm Zukifli.
Are we each doing one,
He's
or are we
multi-classing.
getting advantage?
You're the one who said that he fell.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll go for it. Why
Yeah.
not?
2 weeks we went insane.
Somehow that was a 16.
He rolled a natural 20.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Bro, like, that's just not cool, man. I think I'm just gonna, go on my way, but, like, screw you, man. That's just not cool.
Stand up.
I hope
That's
that you can find a cure for this curse.
Bro, like,
And-
honestly, respectfully, screw you, man.
Hey, I didn't do this. I have nothing to do with it, and I apologize. Please be on your
That's
way.
me. Stop
And
talking.
he's gonna walk by Astra and he's gonna, like, grab his scales back.
No.
These are my property, dude.
What do you think you're doing? You lost these.
You know
Give-
what? You're right. And he's gonna take a handful of something out of his pouch and like just. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Dude, I'm beefing with this man. I'm beefing.
What's happening?
No!
Yeah.
I got a 12.
Yeah. You should just start coughing,
It's just sneezing powder.
and he'll take his scales back as you're just coughing. You don't feel anything at the moment, and he's just be like, get back up onto Lucy with surprisingly quick speed. Onward, Lucy, man, and whips at the reins.
I think it would have been a lot more fun if you guys let him count all my ball bearings and die.
I think, honestly,
Good.
that we should let him be on his way, and you all have a discussion about kicking a man when he's down.
What an unfortunate accident that was.
Could somebody please explain to me what exactly happened there? I thought we were in the presence of a man who was nothing but positive,
Mm-hmm.
and
Why did you try
Well-
to push him, Astra? Why?
Astra.
I don't know about that guy, but if someone were trying to plot my death, I probably wouldn't be too happy with them either.
Plotting death? Who's plotting his death?
Cormac's just gonna glare
Not
at
me.
Astra, just
To be sure, Aspen's gonna insight Astra.
She got a little too
Astra,
willful
you
today.
can either roll a deception check and then let him know if you're lying out, or just roll one in general if you want to see if, like,
I got a 15.
I
but I'm
roll a
going-
15 as well.
Can my Wheeler Woe thing reduce his thingy? Let me see. Let me do some research.
They both rolled the same.
A reaction based on a die roll. I think that works. That's
it's
a
a die
die roll
roll.
he just did.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to woefully take away 5 from your count. Make it a 10.
Jesus.
She's hard to read. She seems to be telling the truth.
Oops. I woke up feeling a little jumpy.
This is
Accident.
Elith shit.
Yeah. You sure you didn't just want the big giant squirrel? I
The
mean,
what?
Kydro wanted, I'm assuming, his loot, because Kydro, you
No,
like
I mean,
kill random people.
I
mean,
attempted to bond.
I wanted to see what would happen if he counted to 1,000.
Kydro, you just wanted to see him die.
Yeah, Kydro, you're
Nuh-uh.
different. Kydro,
I know I'm different, but I wanted to see him count to 1,000.
you want
He wasn't. Okay, listen. He wasn't dying, so I was wondering, how old can this guy get?
And old enough
All
until
the
he
way,
dies.
yeah.
I think
How old is that though?
this experience has taught him
Whatever
something.
their death age is. Who
At the
fucking
beginning
cares? He
of
would've
the
been dead.
conversation, he didn't seem to care about, age and death. And it seems, by nature of celestial gods that we're surrounded with in this cursed plane, that he has had a second chance to
All right.
reconsider.
While Astra's talking about this language, using her hands to communicate, you guys realize and you notice that her middle finger has turned to a twig.
Astra, your finger.
Really was an accident.
Astra.
I just, yes.
Your finger.
Can I understand why that's happening to me?
You can make an Arcana check.
Please, please, please. Because what in the world? I'm
Seems
also.
like
The reverse Pinocchio.
you need to get your magic under control.
So as
My
you're
magic
looking at
is
your
very
finger, and she's like
yes.
standing her finger, you guys notice that her ear also turns to wood. Seems that you have been given a condition that's turning you into a tree.
Oh
I mean,
shit. Okay.
does it hurt?
So,
Can I photosynthesize?
Wouldn't you like to know?
No. Just leave it, guys.
all right. To try to figure out exactly what's going on.
Let me roll something.
It appears she's turning to wood.
I do not feel alarmed. I am calm.
Apparently, there's consequences to our behavior.
What do you mean by that?
You
Michael.
may be cursed because you pushed the old man.
Cursed by who?
Did I
How?
roll anything?
Him?
Spirit.
Wait.
Well,
Oh,
she already rolled the
Wait.
Arcana check to figure out what was going on. She's been given a magical effect or disease that would be turning her into.
he.
Can I move
tree.
my finger that got turned into a branch?
You can move up to the joint where it's turned into wood, but you can't move it past that.
What if do I get okay? Let me see. Let me watch this develop.
Your ear
Aspen,
begins to sprout leaves.
Aspen, can you get your journal? Make note of this.
I don't like that you're turning into wood, Astra.
Yeah, it's better than stone.
This,
At least it's alive.
I mean, so was the mannequin man that we saw that was technically dead.
Astra, if you become a tree, you cannot come with us or go back to your home.
You become a tree, you can
That's
never
not true.
leave.
No, I'll
Because
be
a
fine.
tree cannot move.
Well,
Okay. I think maybe he smashed the smoke. You saw that?
yeah.
He used a potion on you, so we can go to Ferestyl, find someone maybe who can fix you, or we go find him now, the Dragonborn, and we apologize or find some way to get antidote.
Yeah,
I
but
think maybe too dangerous to go after him.
how fast was that rat bear going, though? Can we catch up to that?
It was surprisingly fast. And you guys have been talking for a solid amount of time here. It would be
yeah.
hard to catch up with it.
We've been here
You
for
can
like
track
6
it.
hours. I don't know. So, what did it head south or did it head? Which direction did it go?
Well, the only path is south. Because there's nothing
Oh.
other than this ruin, there's nothing at the base of this waterfall or in this general area.
Okay, let's go south. And let's hurry. And
Yes.
as we go, let's monitor how things are progressing with Astra.
Okay. I'm gonna try to mount my horse and ride my horse. I hope I don't turn into a stick person.
As you begin to swing your leg up, your thigh gets very stiff.
Oh my gosh.
Mm.
Yeah.
Maybe she should get in the cart.
Yep. Getting in the cart.
Hmm.
Getting in the cart.
And let's make good speed. No one has like any magical ability they can use to cure whatever's happening to her, no?
Husband?
I'm not really sure of the nature of what exactly is happening to her. If it's a curse, I'm not that skilled.
Oh, I get it. Nature, because she's turning into a tree. That's real funny, asshole.
Don't think he's joking.
That one took me a second.
Are you guys
Hydro,
riding
I am
towards the city
taller
now?
right now.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yep, let's go.
All right. For the sake of this, who's driving the cart?
That's me.
Can I get an animal handling check, please?
Sure, I will fail at that. It's 16.
16.
Yeah.
Okay. Pretty smooth ride as you guys head south. It only takes you, hour, 2 hours to get back.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I lied. It takes you like half a day to get back.
Yeah.
And by the time that you're getting back to the city, the sun is now set.
How am I feeling and looking in the cart?
Yeah, at this point, both of your legs have turned completely to wood, along with your full left hand and forearm.
May I wild shape into a rat?
Surprisingly, you can't. Parts of you are beginning to grow out branches and sprout leaves.
I would like to view the night sky in my final moments, please.
You approach the eastern gate of Ferestyl, the sun gate. Bolt, what business have you in the city to enter after sundown?
Or can we remove a curse?
Also, we have the letter of. Do we not still have that?
Yeah, letter of
You
recommendation.
do.
We are going to the university. Yeah.
He'll kind of like look. What happened to her? Is it contagious? Takes a
No.
step
No,
back.
no. Only if
Make a
you
persuasion check
old man
with
angry.
advantage.
Whoever's doing that, I'll give you guidance.
I think that's Astra.
Oh yeah, I can totally do that. Let me see
Yes.
here. Persuasion.
Ooh.
I got an 11 for my first roll.
What's with advantage?
So
Plus
21.
guidance.
W. What's our guidance?
So
roll?
plus a D4, I think.
21 plus D4.
Goes. Yeah, 23.
23. All right. Well, toll is 5 silver to enter the city.
I have some lichen.
I tip him 5 silver.
All right.
5 silver. Boom.
The gate opens up, and you're allowed into the city.
Okay. Can we start heading in the... Well, let's stable the horses. Get everyone out. Store the cart. Unless we can ride them to the university, I don't know.
That's what we did last time.
Yeah.
Is it quiet enough that we could do that without it slowing us down? I mean, we've got to,
It would take you
I
about
think-
30 minutes out of your way.
Yeah, I think Astra's sticking with the cart. We can't leave her behind.
Or you could cut me on a
No. No. We take her to the university. Maybe someone can help. no.
I get it. Okay.
Okay, so we take the cart and the horses. We go to the university now. Straight.
Yeah. Yes, let's go. Feel
Pedro,
like
you
should
died
have gotten
already.
an escort.
Still want to fight everything, huh? Until maybe you are killed for good.
Well, I mean, I need to fight a lot of things to get better at fighting.
At this point, Astra's legs begin to fuse together, forming a trunk.
I think Astra, you did something, one thing good maybe for this old Dragonborn man, huh?
Hmm.
Because you made him scared for his life, and before maybe he was not, huh? And then you push him off his horse, and he's scared now he's going to die. So maybe now he will stop talking so much. Maybe now he is going to live like he is careful, and maybe he give you the same gift, huh?
Um, I don't know how to answer. I mean, it wasn't on purpose, but yes, it did change his life. I hope he would give me the same. I don't know. He's not gonna help.
This was an accident.
I don't know what it was, but it was not me.
No, no, it was not. Right on the silence.
Okay, so you
Just
guys
a
cross the bridge and make your way to the western part of the city, where you find the lunar tower, the moon tower, also known as the silver tower, and you're let immediately in as the attendant at the gate recognizes you. Where you leave behind your horses and you're brought into this tower. It's dark, but it's still rather active in this area. There's a lot of mages and wizards and the magic casters in general still walking the grounds and doing a number of things.
Do they give us a dolly to move Astra?
Or can I hop? Can I just do it?
That can be provided if you so wish.
Okay, that might be better. Yeah.
I know it's dark, but it'd be really hard to move her otherwise.
So you are met with not the same guy that you had last time, but this one is a young elven man, and he looks at you and goes, "Hello and welcome back to the moon tower. Have you completed your task that the Archmage has given to you?"
Yes.
Oh, and it looks like you have also run into some other sort of trouble in your journeys.
Obviously.
Quite.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Archmage is very busy right now. Could you wait till morning to see her, and I could perhaps...
I'm sure the Archmage can fit us into her schedule.
Unfortunately,
And I'm sure she
not-
wants.
I'm not gonna photosynthesize over the nighttime. There's no sun.
Why?
We have something for her that she wants, and we have it now.
Very well. If you insist, I can take you to the Archmage now. She might not be happy, but follow me.
I'm sure she appreciates results.
He'll take you on the lift that kind of propulses you up into the hallway, where the hallways are now made of this like black obsidian stone that you recognize, and to the Archmage quarters, which is this, octagonal room. And kind of stepping out from behind a desk, she was looking in this crystal ball upon you all entering. Oh, so you've made your way back. It's so good to see you in my presence, and only a whole day it took. Impressive, and you're not dead, but one of you is missing an arm, and the other one has seemed to be turning into some sort of tree. Oh, and Elm, you're a lucky girl.
Yeah, we have your focus. So now, we need your help, or someone help my friend.
Do you?
You have
The
healers?
focus?
Aspen reaches into his bag and pulls out the focus.
Do you hand it to her?
Yeah, out.
Wonderful. You have all done a very, very great task for Yundilbeleg, I assure you. Now, from my end of the bargain, the cure to the demonic curse put on your people is most likely going to be some sort of running water. Not just any running water, though, but one blessed by a very powerful celestial being. But so many people, so little blessed water to go around. How will you cleanse an entire village, I wonder? Not only that, but you said that it's infecting the entire plane of existence. Curious. But there you have it.
Any water from a celestial being?
Blessed water has to be strong, potent, and of large amount.
From what creature?
Hmm?
And from what being? What
I would
kind?
imagine a realm of one of the gods themselves. This is a demon lord we are speaking of, perhaps. There are some celestial generals that might be of assistance as well, but I cannot give you any guarantees. Running water is historically a cleansing thing. It often will stop a vampire in its tracks. But like I said, you'll need a very large amount of water for that large of a scale of place. So that part is for you to figure out.
And how can this water fight the fungus? It touches the fungus and then no more?
I could sit here and explain to you the intricacies of curses and magics and all that sort of thing all you want today, but that is simply it. Maybe rainfall, if you were somehow to get holy water to rain down. Interesting hypothesis I have just concocted in my mind. But the water would still have to be blessed by a very powerful celestial being themselves. And how would you get it to evaporate to affect the entire environment?
You ask God to rain on the people.
Yes, but how would you get a hold of one and get that kind of favor?
Talk to one, do the work for one, or maybe don't kill his angels. You knew what was inside the temple.
In my defense, yes.
So now
That's how much of a
already
defense
we
is it?
made one God angry at us.
Oh, you would not believe how many are angry with me. You'll be fine. As for your
feel like I can
furry
guess.
friend over there, she might not be. I suggest you get her some help quickly.
From where?
And where might we find some?
It looks to be some sort of curse to me. Maybe a holy person?
You have no power for this?
This is out of my realm of expertise.
Okay, so we find a wizard with more power than also you. Okay, can. And
Cute.
okay, where in? Sorry, go on, please.
Oh, weren't you wanting to know something about the realms of order as well?
Yes, we
Yeah.
were.
I have done some reading, and it appears that there is a very powerful artifact that was lost centuries ago that had the capability to tear the fabric of reality, thus opening a way into such realms. It was...
A claw.
Yes. How are you able to theorize such a thing? You see, this was not just a claw or a magical artifact made. No, It was the claw of a very powerful dragon, one that attained one of the highest statuses a living dragon could, such that it developed the arcane capability in its claw to tear that fabric.
Was this the daughter of a god?
It was not. Its name was Gargruma, Eater of Worlds. But he was vanquished, his claws severed from his body, and then lost. Where it mummified and withered, much like a monkey paw would you, and gone. Has not been within the radar of any mortal that I know of for quite some time.
Interesting.
Well, our deal is complete. I appreciate this focus. Karaman will be very useful to me.
You will be
Well,
mindful.
Perhaps you do have your use. I might call upon you again one day. You've made a very powerful partner. And all of my tasks have great reward. I can see what the Archmage of the Golden Order sees in all of you.
Aspen. Aspen, wheel me out. Wheel me out.
Yeah, I was planning on it.
Now.
Aspen's gonna Astra out.
And follow.
She's like flexing her little twig hands.
Yeah.
Find
Kath.
Ila.
Yeah.
So,
Casmer will linger for a moment.
as everybody else leaves, did you want people to deafen or what?
Oh no. I mean, yeah, we probably could, because I think this is an important conversation.
Oh, we're waiting outside the hall, but
Yeah.
your call. Can do.
Yeah. Because he asked the question to ask her.
All right, so if I can have everybody deafen, please. But Casimir.
You're aware.
Yep, go ahead.
You're aware of what that is capable of. Yes.
I'm very aware.
Are you aware of... Do you sense anything different since we've returned?
Oh, the stench of your death? Is that what you're referring to? I am no fool.
I noticed you didn't mention it.
That's none of my business.
No.
But that information could be valuable. There are some magical barriers which no living thing could pass through. Here and there, perhaps they'll be useful to you.
It could be. And I find myself surprisingly unconcerned about my current state. I question why you really want this item. Is it for Yundable Leg, or is it for a greater purpose?
Oh, everything I do is for my divine emperor and the great betterment of this kingdom.
And if the gods get in the way of the Emperor?
Just gods fighting gods.
They seem to have an active interest in this group.
And I suggest you be careful.
I intend to be. He nods, starts to walk out.
Do you rejoin the others?
Yeah, he rejoins from there.
All right, we got everybody else back.
Back.
All right, so Casimir joins the rest of you outside.
Yep.
And you guys are gonna look for a holy person, right?
Yeah, but quick question before we go.
Mm-hmm.
In this tower, are there a lot of plants or is there any like wood, anything flammable?
So the only plant you have seen in this tower is the tree with the magical essence of it at the base level of the tower with like that silver pole around it.
Hmm. Okay. Let's just go. Let's just go. I should not be choosing violence. Just go.
At this point,
That
Astra's
makes me
like
so
body
angry.
from the chest down.
Aspen's pushing Astra along. He
Uh,
starts talking. He's just like, through whatever trial we learned that the cure is holy water.
so we're going down the hall. I'm calling out, healers, healer, temple, healers.
Make
Calling
an
them out.
investigation check with advantage.
Cool, that's a 13.
Yeah, so you nobody's really like saying anything, but as you get out of the tower, the wood is slowly starting to creep up Astra's skin with her arms out, branches, leaves, foliage starting to sprout. Had to like fight off a few birds trying to nest in her already. You
No,
get back
leave them.
to the horses. Oh, so you're back already? That was rather short. Here are your horses, as I promised. And you all have a wonderful day.
If only simple as that.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
If only it was as simple as that.
Oh,
Where
is
is the
there-
temple? Is there a temple somewhere? Where healers? Anything?
You could find a temple of the moon just to the north of here.
Okay. Lead the horses.
Right, kind of like at a fast gallop through the city, going off the directions that the attendant gave you all. You managed to find this large temple, very similar to the one you found on top of the mountain in the Zale Mountains. There are these pillars. It's like an open roof, kind of like almost like Greek styled type of place. Pillars where they're high up with these silver braziers with these blue burning flames, blue and silver. And as you like kind of rush Astra up the steps, like it's like creeping up to her neck now, and she's like having a hard time moving her jaw and talking. It's like she can't move her lower jaw. She's trying to speak through like a clenched jaw.
Astra, I promise, even if you turn into a tree, effort to talk to you every day.
Speak with plants. Easy peasy.
I guess it is that easy.
Um,
Keeps pushing her up.
So as you can have this like woman priestess comes out, elvish, older. Welcome. Is everything all right?
No, we have a curse. My friend, she needs help.
I see. Please, we'll take her from here. You must all be very tired to rush all this way. You may rest in our main temple area.
Go with her.
I will stick by my sister throughout the entire process.
I am. She's just gonna complete the process and turn into the elm tree.
Oh no.
I mean, if we aren't able to assist her, perhaps find a nice clay making establishment, a pottery. I know one that's in a barn rather close by.
The worst thing that you could do to a tree is restrict its roots to a small place like that.
We'll try our best. They're gonna take tree Astra. Roots kind of like it's like flopping around as a carrier. To a fountain in the back of the temple that has like the same kind of like silvery water that you saw in the silver tower, and they're gonna kind of like rest your roots first down into the water, and they're just going to kind of like start to sprinkle herbs and incense around, start burning it, and like start saying prayers. And you notice as the water starts to glow with this soft blue glow, the priestess turns back to you and goes, "This could take some time."
You can do it.
Hours.
You can fix it.
You can try.
Okay.
How did it come to this?
Angering an elder born.
He had a potion. He threw it. Poof, like smoke. And I was looking if he's going to describe the smell, the color of the smoke, and what it sounded like.
I see. It's so odd that a potion which is typically magical, would give someone such an affliction.
Mm,
Hmm.
maybe some magic curse. He says he has magic items.
I do believe that this is something that I've seen stories of fey creatures giving to mortals that cross paths with them. But a simple elderly dragonborn, you say, to do such a thing?
Fey creature.
Yes.
It can change shape.
They can.
Pretend to age.
Or even gods. We've already met something like that.
Yes, they've actually met a couple gods, as awkward as this conversation point is.
Can you help her? Now you know. Maybe it's from a fey curse or a potion.
It's up to our ladies, the waxing and waning light at this point.
Okay, we can wait. Thank you.
Yes. She'll turn and exalt, kind of shutting the door between you guys and the pool where Astra is. Anything you want to do in the meantime?
Just sort of give Kyder a punch in the shoulder. I'm not bruising the dude much. Just a little.
What? What happened?
That could be you.
A tree? No.
So, I just want to point out consequences of our decisions, and do not assume that what you see is true. So, we have a run-in with a god and a run-in with a fey creature, clearly testing. I noticed that healing potion didn't seem to do much to heal him, huh?
Because he's a fake creature, maybe. So
Yeah.
potion doesn't work.
You have to drink a potion, but he was also vomiting up blood.
Yeah. Do you have more of those?
Yeah, I hold up 4 bottles.
Yeah.
You want one?
No. I'm fine.
Pedro? Okay, I will keep in case of emergency.
Yeah.
I'll tuck it away in a separate bag in my bag of holding. I will note as a player, I'm keeping this in the event of an emergency, or else in the event that we need a lot more drama in the scene.
Get up, damn it!
Get up, damn it! I need this to be more exciting.
Potions are magical. Would you be able to, if you ritual cast identify, would you be able to identify them?
Yes.
Um,
So potions are magical. Dispel magic works on someone who's under the effect of a potion, but magic potions themselves cannot be robbed of their magical effect.
Yeah. Casimir's going to discuss. I can study one of them and see what they are, and he can ritual cast identify.
Okay.
Something he has never done.
I'll give him that. Let's go find a clear space. So she indicated a place where we can wait, like a waiting area, or there was a quarters or a mess hall.
Yeah.
Okay.
So happy
Great.
to use
I don't
this
know if
stuff.
we've eaten much today, so can we go get a bite to eat? Is there anything?
Yeah.
The cafeteria?
You can find like, it's not necessarily a cafeteria, but like they offer you like bread, like loaves of bread and like chunks of cheese, but don't expect something like along the lines of charcuterie. It's like
Nice.
very bare minimum sustenance.
I mean, if that's great. Some like nice like simple cheese and bread. Perfect.
So this is a potion of poison. Two of them are. And it seems like the third one that you picked up was also a potion of poison. They look exactly like, they smell, taste, and look like a potion of healing or other beneficial potion. But it's the illusionary magic on the potion that does it. So it actually gives 3d6 poison damage and the poison effect if a con save is failed, but the 3d6 poison damage is guaranteed.
Wow.
And it continues to poison you. 3d6 poison damage until at the end of each of your turns.
So these are made for Cormac.
So you have those, and the other ones are in fact potions of healing.
So 2 potions of healing.
Yeah.
And 3 potions of poison. Okay.
You already used one.
2.
I used 1.
Potions of poison, with one of them being also a potion of poison. So 2 and 2.
Got it.
So
Okay.
you might want to label the actual potions just to be sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So the lesson here is don't buy potions off of cursed Fey Dragonborn riding on giant squirrels.
So many words in that sentence. They just don't match. They just don't match.
The lesson is there's something, many things watching us. Huh? Judging what we do.
I suppose as a group, it may be time that once Asta recovers from this, we discuss what we're going for and the consequences of the decisions that we make. We seem to be... How do I put this? We seem to be unable to think and act in a rational way as a group.
What
makes you say that?
Several times now, and I understand we all have different moral backgrounds, but several times now it seems like the first action of members of this group is let's kill the thing that's in front of us.
Yeah, because mostly the thing in front of us wants to kill us.
Yes.
True.
I suppose I asked the question because we have the cart of people that were stuck on the side of the road. We have a strange old dragonborn on a giant rodent. And I understand that both of those could be a risk, but it's almost like we're interested in seeing what fun we can have it instead of thinking what the consequences of that decisions are. Fun is fun, but I mean, do we have to kill everything? Do we have to consider pushing an old man, seeing what we can do? I mean, we've been lucky so far, but eventually, I mean, you've already been banned from a country, and I know that that's not all of your fault. Though I do question the story about explosions, about terrorism. That's a whole other thing for later. But
Allegedly.
Allegedly, and that's not very comforting. Eventually, you're going to be in a place where you can't get away, Helix Akydro, and the only option is going to be spending 10 years in a prison, rotting away and losing all of your hard-earned strength.
How would I lose my strength?
Being locked in a cell.
No way out.
Being turned into a tree.
I'd be a strong tree. I don't know about you.
Or
I don't know.
maybe
Hardest bark.
Maybe
The hardest
Every
bark.
control.
Every tree looks strong until it's met with an axe, Kydro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so you've died already,
Yes.
and you were lucky enough to come back.
Yeah.
So have I. I mean, your goal is a worthy one, but I worry a little bit that we're too rash in our decisions. That's all. Eventually, you won't get lucky. You can't get to the bottom of your tower if you're dead.
True.
Astra can't save her people if she's dead.
I'll look over at Kairo's wherever it is I slashed him the other day. Is
Across
there
the
still a
chest.
scar there? Yeah, is there a scar on his on there? Or is it looking okay?
Yeah. There is a scar. It's healing up. It's like you can see it just like at the edge of his gi, like the start of it. It like you got it from like the shoulder like down to like the mid upper pectoral.
Kairo,
Yeah.
that heal okay? That one.
Yeah. It's fine. The skin gets tougher when it heals back.
If you stay with me, I think maybe everyone will have scar like that
I don't mind that.
until I can learn how to control better. But I almost killed you. I think maybe I could kill any of you if I lose control. So what do I want? I want to learn to do better and don't hurt people like you. And Casimir is correct. We must think more. But we always focus on the right thing. I think we are focused on our mission. Huh? We're saving these Ferbok people. But there are others who are trying to watch us and get something from us, and they know what we want, and they are using this on us. So now, yeah, we must be more thinking more mindful. Or maybe we make enough money, we can just pay anyone to fix us, huh? Is that maybe what we are all thinking? Always we can pay, come back from the dead.
We should have asked her for some money too.
Yeah. I'll sniff the air around Casimir. Scowl a little bit. Look, a little sad.
Looks at Zol. We just my goal here is to make sure that all of you make it out of each of these little adventures in the same state you come into it. So rushing ahead, separating when we're in danger. I mean, Cormac, you almost died. You didn't. He kind of scrapes at some of the corroded armor. We keep getting lucky. But, I mean, life is just a roll of the dice. Sometimes the dice don't fall in the way you want, and that's it.
Even if we try to play as cautious as we can, something I've learned is that every step we take has a transaction. Even if you're given the illusion of choice, you have to give something up.
Looks at the missing arm. So, we've seen that there's consequences, and that's all I need you to think is the next thing we do. We just have to think first. I mean, we just have to think.
What is our next thing? We came
Divine.
here to find help, and now we have one answer: get a god to rain on people.
Oh wow! All right, that's worth a clap. I'm sorry. Wow.
It's so good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh yeah.
So for our podcast listeners, Astra shows herself as a tree with her face of a Fearball, and they are color matched.
Art credit to
Yeah.
Quentin.
Yeah.
So
Can I
it's-
change from
Thank you.
wild
Thank
shape to
you.
bark shape?
Oh god, that's so good.
It's during these conversations that one by one, waiting for several hours, or Astra, you end up drifting off to sleep. And you're woken up with a excuse me.
Aspen instantly just opens his eyes.
Your sister is awake.
Is she okay?
Just come on.
Yeah, we can go with her.
Yeah, instantly.
Walking into the back room, Astra is now clothes are soaked and is back to her normal form. A few leaves are like falling out of her hair. She kind of like ruffles it, but for the most part, she's back.
Okay. Fix already. You okay?
Never better. She's gonna kind of crawl out of the pool, leaving a trail of water behind her. I'm ready
It's-
to go.
As am I.
What temple is this, by the way?
This
It's the Moon
is
Temple, right?
this is the temple that pays homage to Nima and Kresna.
Nima and Kresna. Okay. As we're at the temple, is there a priestess there or a priest nearby in the room with us doing us in?
This is a order that only has priestesses, but yeah, the one that woke you up and brought you back to the room, she's currently present in the room with you.
Thank you for being my friend. We thought maybe we had lost her.
It was a rough one to remove, but be careful in the future.
Where do you think this came from?
It was an affliction that seemed to have been made of both an enchanting of a plant. I'm sorry, but of a plant found in the Feywilds, which is a sort of reflection of our world, but it was also processed with the magic of something else, making it a little bit harder to remove.
Something else. Potion? Alchemy? Maybe?
Something more divine,
Hmm.
whether towards the devotion of something light or dark, I do not know. But we had to use a mixture of both prayers to our goddesses and medicines together.
I have a final question, priestess.
Yes?
Do you know where we could find someone who has the most knowledge on gods and goddesses? We need someone with a vast knowledge of different kinds, and I don't know where to look.
We need water from the goddess. Or
Oh,
some god.
Running water,
Oh,
and a lot of it.
Well, we do, but I also seek knowledge in knowing who could help. There were many good points brought up about how widespread we could make the cure, and I worry for the safety of my entire realm.
I'm sorry. I must be missing some information. Cure. Realm.
Yes, I briefly mentioned it earlier, but my brother and I are not from here. We are from what you call the Beastlands. And our family has fallen under a curse, which has left them turning to stone.
Hmm.
We have done odd job and wacky end to try to figure out what caused it, how to cure it, but the answers we got were not satisfactory to me.
Well,
To say the least about them.
we have a fountain of knowledge regarding Kresna and Nima. And we also have holy water that we can sell, but it seems like you need something that is a bit beyond our capability for holy water.
Perhaps if a water-soluble crystal were to be enchanted and placed into a large body of water, would it bless the water that it blends into? It's not safe to do so. These are things I do not know.
If what we seek is beyond your immediate help, where might we seek beyond?
Well, you would need to be in the contact of a powerful celestial being, but to just summon one would
How do I do
require
that?
a bit of knowledge, or furthermore, to even travel to where they reside in their own kingdoms requires a very powerful magic caster or holy person, which are few and far between. We don't have anyone with that capability within our temples here in this city.
I want to know, is there something we can do to find out if Nima is angry at us? Can you pray to her and ask her?
I can try to communicate with her, but I'm simply a priestess of her. I'm not one of her chosen.
But
I have meditated for many years, but unfortunately I have not been able to gain such favor.
Who is chosen? Anyone here in the city?
Unfortunately, nobody here.
I think we met a priestess of Nima who seemed to have some favor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, that whole encounter with Ruar yesterday, that was a thing. Would have been helpful information to know we needed running water.
Are there any tokens of Nima here at the temple?
Yeah, there are several symbolic representations of Nima and Kreza. There are statues. The pillars surrounding the main pool in the middle of the temple are each a different phase of a moon in a cycle. There are tapestries. There's a lot of symbology here.
I wouldn't mind. Zulkifli would actually quite like to come away from this moment with a token of hers, like an amulet or something to that effect. Do they hang her symbols around their necks, or
the priestess can sell you a silver pendant that is the symbol of Nima or Krasna, whichever you prefer.
Okay.
But Krasna's is a shining blue circle, while Nima's is a circle with 6 stars around it.
Oh, okay. 6 stars. Did you say a shining blue circle? Not a crescent.
Would be Krasna.
Okay.
It's a moon with a sapphire embedded into it, is how it's most artistically shown.
I see. Okay. I'll get both.
Okay. So that will cost you about 5 gold.
5 gold.
They gotta pay for that bread somehow.
It's true.
You gotta go to
It's the
the
precious
gift shop.
metals that you're paying for, and less so the actual significance of it.
Sure, but I'll hold on to these 2 tokens, Kresna and Nima, and I'll look down at them.
And if we're not seeking a priestess of Nima, would you have a particular suggestion on where we might find a celestial? Any hint on?
I think, Kazmir, they will find us. They find us before. They will find us again. Maybe he does not know.
Well, there might be something you might be able to use. It was once said that there was an advanced civilization south of the Paul Mountains that, frankly, for lack of better words, is cursed. The lands are cursed since its fall. You might be able to find something within the archives of the ruined lands there, but people rarely return. There's also, to my knowledge, a powerful priestess to Kresna and Belanos as well.
This ruined kingdom, you happen to know its name?
Amindaresk.
All of these, everything we're experiencing seems to be the answers we're looking for. Like they're being fed to us by different sources.
Hmm.
There are also other creatures that exist that are collectors of knowledge, highly intelligent, that you might be able to find. There's supposedly the ruler of Ostelmut is a very powerful being, collector of knowledge and other things. And of course, if you're looking for something that's related to those of celestial origin, the kingdom of Cielnor might be rather beneficial to visit. I've only met one or two people from there. They're rather isolated and hard to reach, but you might be able to access it. It's said that they descend from the god's bloodline there.
Casimir seems to be experiencing a sudden headache. Sorry. You said they're celestial? Why is...
Are you okay, Casimir?
Why do I not remember that?
What?
It was such a long time ago.
That might be why.
Point of order, DM. Just quick checking. The High Priestess to Kresna that you mentioned. Which city was that in again?
Belanos, the capital of Rivermore.
Thank you.
So you were given a few directions. Amindaresk, you might be able to find something in like the archives of the ruined kingdom there. Ostelmut has a leader, or in other like things that you might find there. That's an independent city. In the desert, in the Emo Desert. You've also been told of the High Priestess in Belanos, and then there are also creatures that are like collectors of knowledge, but she's not aware of anything like that.
Is it commonly known that the people in Cielnor are celestial? Or is it just among...
It's not something that's common. The kingdom is shrouded in much mystery. They only send ships out to trade. Only special and privileged people are able to traverse there. The clouds act as some sort of preventative barrier of people to actually be able to navigate through them, unless they have the right device that allows them to do so. Similar to how our barrier works, that prevents people from crossing over from the Lernwood Forest, or rather, something similar.
Okay.
Well, so thank you. That is more than I thought. So, after this, we go east. Maybe to Belarus first.
If it's still there.
Yeah.
It would be the first step on the way that way.
Kingdom at war.
Yeah.
A dead city. Or a city that. A place that I don't remember correctly.
As well as the ruins that we were sent towards anyway.
We should check in with the Archmage.
I-
We've completed our task. We're tasked with returning to her.
I will let you know that many people have attempted to travel to these places and many have died. You might need to take a step back and perhaps strengthen yourselves first.
That is good advice.
Yes.
Maybe we stay here for 1 day, 2.
Well, we are tasked with returning to the Archmage once we completed this part of our journey.
Yeah.
We may
Okay.
wish to check in with her.
Tonight, maybe we sleep. Can find somewhere.
Mhm.
Are you guys heading
What
out?
time of day is it? It's time.
It's midday. You guys fell asleep throughout the night and you woke up in the
Oh,
morning. Or you were
awesome.
in
Yeah,
the
okay.
morning.
It's the following day. Okay, great.
Let's go to a bathhouse. And I mean, I know we were just swept through a river by a god of rivers and water, but let's, it's gross water. Like I have muck in my armor.
So you all leave the
Okay.
temple and you find yourselves in the busy streets of Ferestyl. It is here that, there seems to be some sort of news around. People are gathered around, like holding these papers. There's a few paper boys shouting out, "Latest news of Mernwen, 1 copper." And they're just like going around like saying, "Latest news, word from Rivermore, developments in the north." And they're going on just like with these pamphlets.
Could Aspen go and grab one, hand over a piece of copper?
Yeah.
All right.
So similar to a newspaper, but instead of having like town criers, this is how they convey things, like these small little pamphlets and updates of things. The city of Summermorn has been completely burned to the ground. That is the first thing that you guys learn about. It has been lost, but for some reason, the Goblinoid forces did not cross the King Oldenol River, and they headed directly south and made their way across the Gorgos Gorge, where they're now occupying Vernaria and working with the minister. And you like hear whispers of people that are like, "I hear that there's forcing adventurers to go into the tower." And there's like these whispers going on. There is also news of giants within the Frotros Forest to the north that are currently laying siege to the Dwarven Kingdom of Kargrin.
This is a lot. I think we need to go somewhere else.
This may be the safest place so far. After this, we more danger.
It seems no matter where we go, there is some type of danger awaiting us.
That's for the best, though.
Orcs.
Well, the good takeaway from that is that you're likely not wanted in Mysteria anymore.
I mean, the bounty was paid, wasn't it?
That's a question. They say there may not be a tower for Hydra to go to.
I wonder.
The Tower of Valor was constructed by the gods. There's no way it could be destroyed.
Well,
To be clear about what I said, I just want to clarify. It's the current prime minister, Kaisen Flaskmaster, has allowed the goblinoid forces into the city, and so you're kind of using them to force the citizens to take on the tower. Like there's something that. So that's what you guys have learned.
Yeah. So they're trying to get as much of this Noxarium as they can then.
Which now would make sense why they would have sold them siege weapons.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Forcing the citizens. And now it is more dangerous. So more people are dying.
Mm-hmm.
And as you sit there taking in this news, pondering what steps you should take next, that is where we're going to take our mid-session break. So everybody, we will be back momentarily. We have rolled 2 natural ones so far, so 3 more, and we will give away a set of dice. Thank you so much, Noble Crumpet, for the Raiding Party 2. I hope you had a good rest of your weekend in Seattle. Good to see you online. Fantastic. Thank you so much. We're actually just taking our mid-session break right now, so we'll be back in about 15-20 minutes. So stick around, everybody. Great to have you within our session tonight. We're just gonna refresh ourselves, get ourselves some drinks, maybe use the restroom if we so need to. Also, I've been really enjoying this fan I got at the Comic-Con.
What's his name?
It says Squatchy. Look at it. It says Squatchy. So
we're all a fan.
So everybody will be back momentarily. Don't forget to join our Discord because we're giving away a set of gemstone dice, courtesy of Modern Artifice, and we'll be back very soon. And if you are just now tuning in, which some of you are, Noah.
Well, what you could do is you could wonder about your place in the universe. And while you're wondering, you will do that thing that anyone does when their fingers are idle. You drift over to YouTube and open up a window. And in YouTube, you will enter Prestige Encounters. There you shall find all of our stuff. All the stuff worth seeing anyway. It dates back to Campaign 1, which we finished at level 20. Want to see how that happens? We put all of it up there. And we're doing the same with Campaign 2. If you want to catch up on our previous episodes, this is now like episode 30. If you want to catch up on how the adventure so far, you can watch from the start right there on our YouTube channel. You can also listen to it on the podcast network at any of your local podcast distributors.
Wow.
Get that podcast juice. Drip it into your ears. And that's what I got. Did you like that? Did you like that, Yi?
I don't know if I like the whole juice dripping in your ears part. But
Man, that was my favorite part. Okay.
we'll be back like 15-ish minutes. See you all soon.
I rehearsed that part.
And welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back, everyone else.
Thank you for that. So, you all
Been a
have
while.
exalted the temple and are making your way through the city of Ferestyl and the elven kingdom of Yundel. What would you all like to do? It's bright and early. We'll say that you've already found a bathhouse at this point that will take 3 silver away from all of you as you kind of freshen up, get yourselves a nice little fruit and cheese platters. You soak in the baths, Just a fruit and cheese platter sounds really good right now, so that's why I keep bringing it up.
2
Who
gold.
doesn't love a good charcuterie?
A little bit of wine.
So I'll toss them 2 gold for
That's very
I think
Gouda.
6 party members and snacks. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 7 party members and snacks.
Yeah.
Okay, these jokes are making me fed up.
And drinks. Although it's okay if we'll be drinking water. Oh man.
I don't know why that got a bit.
I don't
know. Look at that.
Oh, I almost won the game.
Yeah.
Damn it, I lost the game.
Ah,
You
fuck,
son
I
of a
lost.
bitch.
It's been like 10 years. Great.
16 years.
Yeah.
It's been 84 years.
Yeah. Buy some almonds so we can talk about these nuts.
Moving on, story wise, you're out of the bathhouse. What are you doing?
I wish to find a park that we can camp in throughout the night.
It's the middle of the day. But if you
Okay,
want to, you want to look for a park.
Yep.
I mean, if we're going to camp, why don't we need to check in with the Archmage? Why don't we start making our way back, and then we can camp on the way.
Yes.
Unless anyone needs to do anything. Hydra said something about getting his ball bearings counted.
No, now it's not fun anymore. So it's okay. I have 1,000. I already counted
The
that.
fact that it was fun to you to begin with is a different conversation.
Yeah, that's something we can talk about in the middle of the night for approximately 2 hours.
Cormac,
I
I believe if we have the time, go with you to try to look for a new weapon for you.
Yeah.
But I
How's
have
your-
one favor to ask of you.
Oh, what's that?
Could you scratch the left part of my back? I can't reach it.
Cormac just give a weird look as he slowly just sticks down and scratch.
Thank you.
You buy a little scratching stick, maybe.
Yeah.
I suppose I could do that.
Yeah. He never asked me to scratch his back because if he did, then he lose 10 feet of movement in his turn.
The only reason I've never asked for is because I had both of my arms.
It's metagaming. It's metagaming.
So as you're like walking through this part of the city away from the bathhouse, it's very crowded. You kind of find yourselves pushing through this like shoulder to shoulder crowd, and as you're walking, Astra, you get separated from the rest of the party.
Oh my gosh.
You know, at first you can like see them sort of like ahead of you, but like the crowd continues to push you further and further away until you find yourself in an alleyway between two like residential buildings, like really close to each other, where you're like, your shoulders are basically touching because you're a furbolg and they're kind of broad. They're like touching both sides of this very narrow alleyway.
I'm so uncomfortable. I don't like the crowd. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be here anymore.
Are you gonna walk down the alleyway away from the crowd?
Yeah, let's investigate.
Okay. So as you're like kind of walking down the crowd, you hear from the direction of where you just came, you're like, what's someone like you doing in an alleyway like this?
I'm gonna turn around and look who's looking at me.
Turn around,
Doesn't
there
feel like
is a man that's kind of like dirty looking elvish man. Like his hair's kind of stringy and greasy, and he's holding a kind of this small curved dagger in his hand.
What are you doing?
He's gonna take a step forward.
She steps back. She's going to prepare wild shape. She's gonna ready herself.
And then as you kind of step back to this like four-way intersection, two more of the men come out from the left and right sides and are like kind of like cutting you off at this point. And you only have the way back. And as you prepare to like form the shape of this animal, you feel a hand gently on your shoulder. There you are. I've been looking everywhere for you, dear. You can't go off wandering like that. You kind of turn up, and like resting his hand on your shoulder is an elvish man with this like long silver hair with these silver threads kind of glinting as they're like threaded through it. He has bright blue eyes, like the color of the sky on a perfectly clear day, with these robes that just mark elegance. He's like, are these men bothering you?
A bit. Yes. They are making me feel a little bit uncomfortable.
The man with the curved blade kind of like takes a step forward. He goes, we saw her first. And he's going to start to charge man. Before the man with the curved blade could approach the gentleman, he's just going to raise his hand. A ring on his finger is going to glow, and the man turns to dust as he crumbles to the ground. Now, if you do not want to end up like your comrade here, I suggest you both find the nearest direction away from us to run. You know, and they both, and they're gonna drop their weapons and run off. I got some of his ashes on my new shoes. A shame. He's gonna like shake his hand, and a cannon like shimmers into existence as he kind of like leans on it. Are you all right?
Yeah. What was
Take my
that?
arm.
She will do so.
He's gonna walk you kind of down one of the other alleys and into this main part of the city where your friends are walking, and there's just this massive fountain made of marble with this embroidery on it, and this embroidery leafing on it that's kind of like, as the sun rises, it just captures the sunlight and scatters it into these brilliant scatterments of rainbow in different colors around the whole square. It's kind of like reflects off this glass. As you can guess that this was kind of done very intentional. It's at this point you all realize that Astra is missing. You kind of broke from the crowd, the main part of this really busy part of this basic market area selling food and basic clothes to people wandering by. And you look back and Astra's not there.
I look around for her.
Make
Kind of looking around in a panic.
perception check with
Astra!
advantage.
I got a 14.
14? Was that with advantage?
Yes.
Okay. Easy enough to spot. She's with this man with rather like flamboyant clothing, like very colorful robes, walking on a cane with a jewel at the top. And you see, after you walk across, and you see your friends as she's like has her arm in the through this loop of the arm that this man's making.
Astra, you have a new friend?
I believe so. What's her name again?
Minorialis.
Minorialis. Meet Zulkifli, Aspen, and the other members of my group. And my friends meet our new friend.
He'll reach out his hand
Minorialis.
to shake.
Shake.
It is a pleasure to meet all of you, friends of such a beautiful young lady. You must be careful wandering the city alone. Make sure you don't break away from each other. It's never a good idea. I'm glad I could be of assistance.
Yeah. Thank you for you protect her. There was attacker.
Nothing much to worry about. Someone did turn to dust. I would like to know more.
Do you mean
About that.
figuratively or literally?
Literally. In front of my eyes. Just turned to dust. Incredible.
That's unfortunate that that happened randomly.
How?
Perhaps we don't talk about that here.
Sometimes
like a
things
kid walking
just
by.
happen.
Mm.
Anyway, I will be on my way. It seems like you all are not from Yundilbeleg. Pardon my assumption. We don't get very many non-elven folk here. Not that I'm opposed. I have plenty of non-elven folk friends. But, you know. So, here, he's going to take out a card and a inkwell pen. Not an inkwell, but like a fountain pen. And kind of like right on the back. He goes, this is where I live. Perhaps you all could stop by for dinner. I'm curious to know more about people who aren't from around here and their adventures. It's quite fun sometimes.
can look at Astra. Maybe.
We shall think about it. We have very busy schedule. Right, friends?
Yes.
Right, friends?
Yeah, right.
Mm.
Very busy.
No, is
So
there anywhere
busy.
I could show you the way to? Is there anywhere you're in particular trying to go in this
Oh.
afternoon? I do know some really good cafes and bakeries nearby. Perhaps you're hungry for maybe a light sandwich.
Do
Is
you
there-
know? Do you know where to find a weapon for? I'll gesture to Cormac. He has
It's
his weapon is broken. But don't say too loud. He's very sad.
Perhaps an
Partic-
apothecary in that case. He might be able to assist you.
Apothecary.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I was gonna say his weapon needs a little perking up.
Yeah, because we were in a cave and it's so dark, so scary, and later now it's melted. Very soft. No, cannot
The
use.
poor man.
It needs to be hard to shoot the.
Oh my god, no.
Yeah, it's just a little scrap of wood now.
God.
Okay, so
Would you happen to know if these weaponsmiths sell sticks that make thunder?
I'm sorry. I do not. At this point in the conversation, I do not know if we're all talking about the same thing.
I think a
Has
firearm.
Cormac picked up on what
Make a
exactly they're
perception
talking about?
check.
All right, thank you.
right here.
I think Casimir's also laughing right now.
Ooh. Ooh, okay.
It's with a +3 too.
I mean, they're kind of having the conversation right in front of you, so a 10 passes.
All right. Cormac just not so much a scowl, just kind of makes this kind of face, and then just holds up his flintlock.
Let's
Me
look at it.
flintlock. They're talking about me gun.
Yes.
We don't have any weapons like that around here, unfortunately, but perhaps you could meet with a smithy and they could make it for you custom. It might take some time. I do know a really talented one, a dwarf from Cargren. That's the place. One of the best smiths, from one of the best smithing clans in that area.
Yeah, he can fix. Maybe. Okay.
You could
Yeah.
fix, make new, do some custom orders. You just, it depends on how much time you give him. Rather, it's one of those things. You don't rush an artist in their craft.
All right.
But please, may I treat any of you to a meal, perhaps a drink?
It's always good for me.
Yeah, we can see your friend, and after we have lunch.
Very well. Please follow me. He's gonna reach his arm out for Astra once more.
She's going to take it, but this time it's a bit more hesitant.
Habit.
As
Aspen
go ahead.
will blink and his eyes will light up. Detect magic.
Yeah, this man has several magical effects on him. You notice there are several rings on his hands that are magical. His cane, about the top quarter of it, appears to be magical. It appears to be a sheathed wand. With his
Okay.
robes itself are also magical. He appears to be some sort of magic caster. Based off
Okay.
the number of items he has on his person. You don't notice any other weapons. There's no like swords or anything like that. But he appears to be some sort of magic caster, one with several items allowing him to do so.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess anybody who would see this, because it's not very subtle at this point. I assume he would be looking ahead at this point.
Mhm.
But everybody else, Aspen kind of like pauses from him. He looks him up and down, but he kind of like squints, like he's not completely satisfied. and then detect magic just breaks. His eyes go back to normal.
So as he's kind of like escorting Astrid, he's like, so how long have you been in Ferestyl? It is quite an exciting kingdom to be in, as we are so well off with, you know, the architecture and history is rich in the city. The Solstice King takes really good care of his citizens, passing reasonable legislation and proclamations as well. And you've never been safer here. You see, and he points over to the moon tower, which is quite large in this area, as you guys are in the western part of the city. And then he points over to the sun tower as well, the golden tower. He goes, if you just look a little bit above the tower, you can see the soft golden glow at the golden tower. Do you see? That's the sunstone, dear. There is a stone at the top of both towers. Together, they create this sort of barrier around our kingdom. If you were to walk the lines of the kingdom, the boundaries, you will notice that there are many pillars, per se, that stop all kind of reconnaissance magic and such alike from passing through it as well. It's also quite difficult for any military forces to get in through. And he's just talking her ear off, and anybody who's really listening, as he appears to be quite knowledgeable.
Okay. I'm trying to get a read on Astra's body language, how she's doing over there.
Roll for insight.
Oh, sure. 18.
Astra, how you looking?
She's, you know her pretty well, and the way that she's pretty stiff. She's paying a lot of attention to what he's saying. She's also like paying a lot of attention to him, and it's less about interest in him. It's more like a little terrified. This guy, it's kind of, you know, it's got the blicky up on the dresser. Could, you know, well, but he's also saying really interesting things, and I don't feel threatened. I'm just a little wary.
And you see, we have 4 major cities here. However, Testalcion is the city which no normal citizen can go through. You must be of noble blood, as it is the city of where our king resides. It's like the capital of the capital, one would say. But one would say the real operation is here in Ferestyl. It's where our magical...
We are of noble blood.
I'm sorry?
We are of noble blood.
I am. I have traveled to the city. I'm sorry, what did you say?
My brother and I, we could enter.
I did not realize we were talking about you. Yes, of course, that is interesting, but I mean noble blood of Yundil Beleg. You see, the Solstice King is very important, and it must be kept under close security. That is why only noble people that he allows into his court may enter his city. It is a city completely dedicated to just him and his entourage. Oh, I'm part of the court. Of course I can.
Perhaps we could meet him?
I highly doubt that. He's just going to keep talking. He goes, anyway, Valvier's Sun is a very interesting city. It's where many practitioners of the martial arts go to learn. And he's just going to keep on going.
Guy seems to like hearing his own voice. I wonder if he grows older as he talks. What do you think, Hydro?
I need to give him the ball bearings.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you heard any stories? Have there been any historical events of what's a greedy creature? Perhaps a dragon?
I mean, there are several stories of dragons. They're quite famous and infamous creatures, I would say.
But none that are recent.
What are you interested in?
I'm very curious to know the beastly bodies that are here, but that's besides the point. I just thought you might know a bit about that aspect, especially mentioning the gems, pointing them out to me earlier. knowing the nature of such greedy animals, you don't fear that these gems would be stolen, harmed,
But those
the
are
protection of the city destroyed?
they would be very hard to take, as they are very secure. You do know that those towers have some of the most powerful mages in this whole continent within them.
Yes. But they also have some of the most powerful trees. And the trees do not discriminate. I do know.
Interesting. You are an interesting person. Quite tall as well. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm also a practitioner of magic myself, but I am not part of the magical military of this kingdom, as my family are long traditional practitioners, as we are more private in our affairs. And as you see, oh, well, look at that, we're here. I almost walked past it. You know, time flies when you're having fun. What was your name again?
Me?
No, the one with the stick that shoots thunder, or the erectile dysfunction. I'm not quite sure which.
Cormac.
Hi, that's me.
Oh, well, this is the smithy, and right across the street, old chap, you'll find the apothecary, whichever one you need. Perhaps a balm more.
Hear that, Kydro?
I'll stick with the smithy for now, thanks.
He'll will whistle, and a little fairy dragon will crawl up on his shoulder, with a poof of smoke. It'll disappear and kind of crawl up the rest of the way. We are going to go get ourselves a nice, refreshing beverage. I'll be right over there on the patio of that establishment.
How did you do that?
Magic.
Magic.
Do what?
Dragon. Fairy dragon.
Oh, this is one of my dear friends since I was a child. Partherion is his name.
Like
Parthirion. Partherion.
Aspen, you're also, you can make a small animal, yeah?
Sorry,
yeah, I can make animals.
Partherion. Here we go, Partherion.
My version of said spell isn't as powerful though. Faster. It is.
Oh, so you are a magic caster. Perhaps I could teach you a few things. I have several apprentices in my employ. Employ, is that the right word?
Yes.
Volunteers. I don't really pay them.
They're apprentices.
Is apprentice I? I'm not quite sure. He's gonna mutter something in Elvish.
Yeah, apprentice is only. Yeah, apprentice is only when they're frustrated.
So he mutters linguistics is not my strong suit. Magic is.
Those usually go hand in hand.
That's what I was thinking.
Come, Cormac, we must cure your dysfunction.
Malfunction, perhaps?
Sorry, fix.
Misfire.
I'll take Cormac with me to the smithy and
Yeah, shooting blanks.
don't listen to
Why
them.
I still
They're
travel
all
with
so
any of
mean.
you is beyond me.
So terrible.
He just walks into the smithy shop.
Yeah. So walking into the smithy, there is a fire burning in the forge, but he's not actively working at the anvil. And as you kind of walk in, you kind of dock below some stuff that's hanging, some tools hanging from the ceiling, and that's a circular thing that's he can twist to access them more, like a lazy Susan for tools, but hanging. Anyway, and you hear this racket as you come in. There's a bell rings at the door. Oh, hello. Did not realize I would have customers so early in the morning. How can I help you? Stout dwarf coming out, blonde hair with like a strawberry highlights to it. You know, a little burns across his face, scars from it, from the embers kind of splashing up into it. And tattoos along his arms, kind of like spiraling as well, that have this slight glow to them, as if to indicate that they're magical. Well, speak up.
I've been told that you're one of the best at what you do.
Then you've been told right.
Can you fix weapons if they are damaged?
I can fix marriages if you give me enough time. Or ruin them. I've ruined quite a few.
Well, tell me, what can you do about this? And he takes out his gun and he puts it on. I guess there's a counter there.
Yeah, he's gonna like, you're gonna put it on the table. He's gonna walk over to it. Greys, that was what came in contact with this.
I presume it's something
Those things
similar.
are almost as bad as rust monsters. That's little bugs. And put on this pair of goggles with a number of lenses I can lower and raise. Sorry, lad. Gonna have to redo it, but I can make it better.
Is that right?
Indeed. How good do you want it to be? The better, the more expensive.
Depends on how much better you can make it.
Don't be vague with me, you little shit.
All right, so if you can restore it to its original form, I'd be more than happy with that. But also, I've had this idea floating around in the back of my head because, as you can see, well, I'm assuming you can tell. You shoot it once, and you're pretty much done, and then you have to reload it, and then you got to shoot again, and then reload, and it's very, very monotonous. So what I'm thinking is, is there any way you could basically take this part here, and he points at the barrel, and essentially make 6 of them together?
I like the way you think. Perhaps I could get something a little more functional for you, but it's going to take me some time. We got to draw up the plans. But I'll tell you what, I will make it for you. Put 50 gold down now, and then we'll figure out the cost for later for the rest.
All right. He'll and he also, and also, if you could take a look at this one here, and he pulls the musket off his back. That one I just want to its original form.
I
Nothing's
don't do
too special.
no copying of others' work, but I'll work on it. That'll be 150 gold down then.
All right, can
Give
do.
me some initial supplies, and then we'll work on the price when you come back.
All right,
And
and he'll hand him 15 platinum.
We went into the gray ooze. He's gonna hold up. Sokefa's gonna hold up his Chris. This is very important for me. They had only a small amount of gray ooze. 1 round's worth, I guess. One bit of contact.
-1.
Maybe this would. Maybe you can fix this.
He's gonna take it. What are you doing with the weapon that was forged with demon iron?
Demon.
The iron that made this fused with the blood of a demon. Not that it's any like it has no magical properties, but it's rare metal.
Is from my home. My grandfather gives to me. I do know about demon iron. But he was very powerful. He has he knows about demons. He teach me.
All right.
So, can you fix?
It's going to be more expensive, if that's okay.
More.
200
Then-
gold down.
Oh.
Because of the demon iron?
Multiple reasons. I'll explain that later.
Oh. Yeah, and to say, just generally, I mean, we have a couple things. Nazmir brings out his corroded specialized longsword, and Kazmir's obviously wearing his corroded armor.
Oh, you all had quite unfortunate situations.
Yes, we decided the best option was for all of us to
So
to go.
total, with all of your 400 gold down, we'll work out the price. Are you all capable of paying for that? This one has platinum he's showing off. I would assume so.
Yeah. I'll 400.
400.
Okay.
That will do the down payment for all of your stuff. He's already
Dig
paid
out.
150, so all I need now is 250.
250. Pull out 25 platinum pieces from the bag. It's actually for party funds.
If I wasn't an honest man.
You came highly recommended.
Oh, you know, word of mouth is the best way to advertise. All right, I gotta get to work. Out. It's gonna like still like stub your legs, start to push
Wait.
off you. Guys, what is it?
You have to wait 10 minutes for Kazmir to take his armor off.
Yes. He's taking it off. So how long do you think this can always...
1 to 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
It's I mean, we need these to be repaired, so
It is
Yeah.
an art form.
Okay. Be careful with this.
Are you
He looks at the
residents?
crisp.
I know that there's a couple of places for sale, and the fair side that you might be able to buy. If you're not,
we're about to have lunch with an interesting person. We'll see what comes from that.
are you trying to tell me that you have a sugar daddy?
No. That's
Depends on how
that's,
this lunch goes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Love
know,
to see-
we got to go to the apothecary for Cormac first.
I don't need to go to a fucking apothecary.
he has a erectile. No.
Oh, for fuck! And Cormac's just gonna walk out.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Got a little fun. Anyways, thank you.
Aye. Until the next time, I'll send word for you, or just check back in 2
Yeah, we'll
weeks.
come back. We
Yeah.
tell you.
You don't have like a harpy you can deliver to us anywhere we go, right? That's not an option.
The fuck you talking about?
I love a man who is good at his craft and doesn't have insane magical things at his fingertips. It's honestly nice to see
Oh, I
an
got them
honest work.
tattooed on my arm. What do you mean?
No, to say we dealt with a strange shopkeeper who delivered by a harpy, and I was just wondering if that was a normal thing because it hadn't been any of my time in Yieldable Lake, but I was just wondering. You know, magic users.
You're a couple pickaxes short of a mine, aren't you? Get out.
Gets out.
We get the receipt and then we go. Take an invoice, I guess.
Little invoice.
Yeah. Armor, grease, new 6 shooter.
All right. Did you find what you were looking for?
Yeah. I'll look around.
Wonderful. It's so good to
What kind of
see
place is
that.
this? Is it a cafe? Does it have coffee?
Yeah, it's like a little cafe. He's sipping on a very small porcelain cup with some highly concentrated coffee in it, eating a small muffin but with a knife and fork.
Zool is completely charmed and goes to get a coffee.
So,
wow.
the woman behind the counter is going to speak to you in Elvish. I'm saying, what kind of coffee would you like? Do you speak Elvish?
Apa?
She'll ask, like, what are you
oh.
having?
Okay, saya nak satu kopi. Satu kopi boleh? Kopi panas dengan susu. No?
And then in common, she'll switch. That'll be 3 copper.
Okay. Satu, dua, tiga. Give it 3 copper.
If anybody else is going to get a coffee, it's 3 copper for the coffee, 5 copper for a pastry of your choosing. Little cinnamon rolls. Oh, that sounds good. I'm going to get a cinnamon roll tomorrow, guys.
That's nice.
I don't know if Aspen wants anything, but I do know that Astra is just whispering, and they're whispering back and forth, kind of just back behind the group a little bit.
Cormac's gonna hand her a gold, and to her and Elvis, he's gonna say, "Keep the change."
All right. Well, it is lovely to see that you all have excellent taste. Please pull up tables. You say that you're not supposed to pull tables together, but I do it anyway.
Oh, you're one of those customers.
I mean, when you own the establishment, you can do whatever you want, I guess.
Did you own it before this, or did you buy it just to show off?
I really enjoy their product.
That's not an answer, and I appreciate it.
Anyway, please, so how was Kragon? Is he doing all right at his art?
He's just as vulgar as my friend Cormac here.
Oh, that's dwarves for you, but your friend is wood elf. That is so fascinating seeing a wood elf and you noob a leg. I'm sorry. He's gonna like squint his eyes. I'm sorry. Half wood elf.
Max just gonna kind of squint to, like, doesn't know what he's up to by referring to him as such.
Partherion is gonna kind of crawl up. He's just gonna take a little piece of the muffin. Oh, there you go. That's a good boy. So, here we all are.
You are a rich
Enjoying.
man, a lot. You own somewhere?
Oh, I own a couple of businesses here. It's very nice.
You are a mayor?
A what?
A mayor?
Mayor?
Yeah, or prime minister, or what?
No, I'm just a well-established magic user.
Oh, okay.
That's made his fame and fortunate by adventuring in the world, and it's so on and so forth. Earned a place of nobility with the Solstice King many years ago, and now I'm here, successful in my craft.
So you weren't born into nobility, you earned it.
And saving people in alleys.
Oh, when I see somebody in distress, I just can't stand people who steal from others. Unless it's a very good business deal, then that's free game.
We are travelers going from here and there. Thing is, Anna, we are helping a friend. But we are helping people. We do jobs, mostly to go from place to place. Now we are thinking we must go east, somewhere else.
And what just so happens to be out east?
Trouble and Belonos.
Oh, some other places.
Mm-hmm.
Belanos is a nice city. I remember when I met Her Majesty there. Beautiful woman. Very nice. Strong
queen of
magic.
You met the queen or the princess?
Oh, I haven't seen the princess since she was little. Well, one of the princesses. You see, the queen adopts many children. She doesn't have any of her own. But it's been quite some time. Perhaps I should go pay her a visit.
Well, I mean, part of her kingdom's been torched to the ground.
Oh, so I've heard. That's so terrible.
Yes, all by the orcs. Nothing by anyone else.
Yes, I've sent out some familiars to kind of observe as to what the movements. It appears that they have been let into the city and are being used as like a personal policing force of the new prime minister. And he's just sending in adventuring party after adventuring party into the tower without payment. And I wonder what he's looking for in there. I personally haven't tried to take on the tower, but he must know something that I do not.
Well, I mean, one of the most valuable resources in the world is in there, isn't it?
I
Or
mean,
the source?
Noxiarium, yes, but not to this degree. It's a renewable resource, just deadly to obtain every month. But what is he trying to get? Well, I don't see him having much luck anyway. Yes, quite. Oh, I'm so sorry. Your drinks must be getting cold. It's best enjoyed warm, unless you're one of the people who likes it over ice.
So, is this meeting actually a coincidence? Did you happen upon Astra, or
Or
was
did you maybe see her before and want to become her friend because you know who we are already?
What a peculiar thing to ask. Have you had such destined encounters? So far, I just saw someone who needed assistance.
We meet many people who are not what they say they are. Many people.
Well, I am who I say I am. I am Lord Minorialis, mage and practitioner of magic, hobbyist rich man, and appreciator of good muffins. My favorite are the white chocolate raspberry. Try one. Phenomenal.
Is there one on the plate?
There is one.
I reach for it. Oh.
Right?
That's that.
Is there... So you said that you've been meeting people or things. What exactly... who, I guess, or what? And by all means, don't skip out on the where, when, and how.
Maybe slow. Maybe we trust each other first, huh? But you meet many different people, gods, priests, fae, creatures,
humans?
demons. Also, one princess, but first she was someone else.
How interesting.
Mm,
Well, it looks like you don't have much to tell me. If you needed help with something, now would be the time.
Looks at Aspen and Astra.
I don't know if anyone's noticed, but Astra has been growing steadily angrier throughout this entire conversation while we're enjoying muffins.
mm.
How can you be angry over muffins?
Of course, we need help. We do not belong here. We have been robbed, not only of our dignity, but of our material assets by a sleaze in the Lunar Tower. There are many issues.
A sleaze in the Lunar Tower?
Mm-hmm.
What has someone from the tower taken from you?
She did not take it, I suppose. We fetched it for her.
Aspen holds up his stump.
But
It cost us a lot.
and the answers were not worth it.
No.
She told us something that was common sense. I am willing to do whatever it takes to fix the imbalance happening. And I was not guided in the direction that I needed to be.
And what is it that you're looking for?
We were advised to find celestial power of great amount. Perhaps through a chosen one of a celestial deity, though I would prefer to have a conversation with them myself. I don't think that'll happen, because apparently they're just better than us. That we're all made of the same thing.
You have a
Does he have
fire
a
in
fan?
you. I like your attitude. Interesting. So you need to contact a celestial being that apparently you've had contact with already, but are somehow needing to contact them again to help you with some sort of issue that has resulted in the loss of your arm as well.
Yes. A demonic deity has been exerting a lot of influence on our home world. And it's unusual and it should not be happening. And usually they stay far away. But now they're not. So we must counterbalance the energy. I'm sure you understand. Magic must operate similarly. Astra hasn't even touched her drink. She's so disinterested in what's on the table.
Interesting.
You must understand. He was a tree. And he leaves it at that. Just lets that hang for a sec.
I was. And still am in a way.
You need to get a hold of a celestial being. You know, the really interesting thing here is that have you ever wondered why mages can summon demons in their magic circles, but not celestials?
I did not know that. Why is that?
No one, I guess no one has ever tried.
Do you want to be the first?
I fear if I were to try, I would send you on another fetch quest that might end up not being fruitful. But if, I mean, no one is really concerned with pissing off a demon, but pissing off one who holds the power of creation. Curious.
again, I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
I
As
like
is
your moxie.
brother.
I might have a solution for you. Do you know what happens in just a few weeks from now?
Eclipse.
Close, but no, another solar event.
Close.
The summer solstice.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if you are well aware of the cosmology of our universe, but there are rings of planes that surround ours. One might be able to teleport from one to another if they have the right focus or item that's attuned to it. Unfortunately, those are very difficult to come by. One cannot freely travel to an elemental plane or to an outer plane or one of the darker light realms freely without that. But there are certain times in which the veil becomes weakened and you're able to pass on through. If you can somehow find in the next 2 weeks in an area in which that veil will be weakened, you might be able to pass into one of the middle ring planes. We'll put it that way to make it more easier for you, your mind to understand. I don't think you're stupid. It's just a very difficult concept.
Of course. No, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Anyway, and then there might be a way for you to travel from that plane to one of the outer planes where one of the gods reside.
Incredible.
Less effort, but be warned. I will warn you now. Time is finicky. You might lose several years, ranging from a couple hours to decades while you're in the wilds. So I suggest a buffer.
A buffer?
Now, from what you've told me, you've already been kind of briefed on Ostilmut, right?
A bit. Mm-hmm.
You see, the great creature that they all worship there, or rather worship, but it looks as her guide is, the translations are difficult. It's a creature that has a strong connection to the astral plane. If you can confront it and pass its test, perhaps it can give you a little bit of a solution when it comes to time.
And what was it called?
A sphinx.
Okay, I believe I know how to spell that. Here we go. Excellent. Is it difficult to answer?
Something tells me that you all are going to do quite well. But you would only have 2 weeks to get from here to Ostilmut. If only you knew a really powerful sorcerer who could teleport you there.
No, we only know a powerful wizard.
You've twisted my arm enough. I'll help you.
Woohoo!
Oh, but your weapons. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
That's about how long it's going to take for our things to get
It
fixed.
appears that you're at a crossroads. You know what I like to do when I'm at a crossroads? I pray.
To who?
To who?
Oh, you know, the god Caius, the one that oversees travelers and trickery and illusion. His own symbol's a forked path.
I have a bit of a question. The stones mentioned earlier, if we wanted to say pray at them, how possible would that be? Is it possible? How close can you get to those stones?
I'm sorry, what stones?
At the top of the tower. Up both towers.
Oh, those stones. You wouldn't.
From people stopping me? Or
Oh, that would be trespassing punishable by death, then ask questions later. Which they can do. I've seen it. They literally kill you and then ask you 5 questions.
Uh,
Hmm.
And another question, I can't stop thinking about them. Are there any others? Or are those the only
Others-
2 in existence? More
The
of
only
those
2
kinds
that
of
I'm
things.
aware of.
Very curious. Interesting. Yeah, definitely protect those. Uh-huh. Under lock and key. Don't want to lose them.
So you all have 2 weeks. 2 weeks to convince the Sphinx of Oshtomut to assist you and to find where the veil will be weakened on the solstice.
And then get to that place in still only that time, 2 weeks. Okay.
A tricky situation.
It's worth it.
Can try. And you say you can help?
I can get you from here to there, lickety split.
But then after we will have to go to this place where the veil is weak. Can you help us get to that as well?
Well, I won't be there with you, now will I? Better hope it's close.
Maybe the Sphinx can help us in many ways.
One could hope.
Where is this desert? Ostalmut. Pull out his map. He's gonna look at that.
So he'll point to the east. Oshtomut is a city within the Emo Desert.
Ostalmut.
Emoti. Sorry. Emoti Desert.
They listen to the cure there.
Yes. Close to Sionor. You.
How soon could you get us to Upstelmu?
How soon do you want to go?
Considering that our time is so limited, probably as soon as possible.
Oh,
Unless anybody is opposed to that.
Well, my only concern is if we go today, Cormac has no weapons.
So got
That
me,
is
though.
true.
Nazmia's sword is being repaired. My armor is being repaired.
Is there no rental weapon? Do neighbors not lend a hand?
And Zulkifli is leaving part of his heritage here. Unless
So
we
we-
take.
Come back after.
Mm-hmm.
you could
Okay,
probably persuade Kragan to rush the work to just to a week, but that would still only give you a week to do everything else.
I worry about going into this unprepared. I know time is of the essence, but that's the question. Is a week enough time, or do we go with, do we go leaving our corroded equipment here, or bring our broken equipment there? And, not to say that Cormac is useless without it, but I don't know.
I'll tell you what. I will let you explore the city, do what you need to do for the rest of the day. You have my card. Stop by this evening for dinner. And you can present me with your decision there. I just love new blossoming adventures. You always pique my interest.
You seem to have sniffed us out quite well, as seemingly everyone does.
I just so happen to
We
be in the
smell.
right place at the right time.
Mm-hmm. Yes, coincidences are things that happen all the time.
Yeah, and we just happen to stick out like a bunch of sore thumbs.
That is true. You two are very tall, and he's going to gesture over to Caspian and Cormac, and these two are very dark looking.
I felt they're kind of pale, so.
And you know how many times I've looked at this one and he's trying to pickpocket someone? He's going to point at Kydro.
He has sticky fingers.
Then get a wet wipe.
What's that?
You guys are so cute. Anyway, he's going to twist his wrist and vanish.
I just call my fingers sticky.
So it-
one week, maybe we can find something here first. We can find out about the Sphinx and think of some plan. Maybe we find work.
Yeah, and literally everything about that was suspicious.
Yeah. Everything.
Solutions falling into your lap that you don't work for. Maybe it's not a real opportunity, but again,
Or maybe he will make us work for it.
sounds like he's willing to dump us on the other side of the continent and let us figure it out. You know, I mean,
It's more help than anyone else is offering us right now.
So far.
Mm-hmm.
Well-
The Archmage, we have to talk to them.
yes, and she seemed to have incidentally have been pointing us almost in the same direction. You know, both archmages pointing us to the same ruin.
Yeah.
But-
I'm in Daresk.
You know, simply put, we are not. You know, it's as the priest has pointed out. I don't know if we're ready for that. Haste to our death.
There's also Agenben, which is right next to Ashtamut. We've
Mhm.
also been tasked with checking out. There's always that.
Yeah, but first we need weapons if we're going there. But how? Cormac, Casimir, you have your weapons, huh? Can you go without, or you must wait?
I mean, I'll survive without the armor. I worry more about Cormac and Nazmir in this case. I mean, we can share, but
I mean, got through the rest of that little debacle earlier without it. What's another week or two?
Just to check real quick, the Archmage in question that Casimir has mentioned is in Valerie Eason, is that correct?
If you're
Or-
referring to Amelia, Yes.
Amelia. Okay.
yeah.
And,
Archmage of the Golden Order. And then the Archmage of the Black Order is located in Ferestyl, where you are. The other ones of the various other orders of the Indo-Beleg military you have not met.
Yeah, because Amelia set us free under the condition that we do a task for her. And I think if we spurn that, we may very well have another enemy seeking after us everywhere we go.
Yeah. What was the travel time between Valerie Eason and Ferestyl? It wasn't a week, right? It was like a couple of days. Is that right?
Anywhere between 3 and 5 days.
Oh, okay. So,
Archmage
1 week.
Frithful is her name. Amelia
1 week we
Frithful.
can go from here to Valerie Eason and back. Maybe 3 days, 6 days, maybe.
Yeah. We didn't have a way to communicate with her, right?
Don't know. talk to Minorialas. Maybe he can. But it is through his head, yeah? So maybe we don't trust what he says.
No, I don't trust what he says.
So who do you trust? We don't know. We don't know anyone here.
Well, I know what to expect from all of you. And I know what most of your goals are. I mean, this is Aspen and Astra's people at the end of the day, so I mean, their opinion should inform what we do. I just caution leaving behind and finding ourselves dying. That's all.
I
Okay.
have a question. I remember something about giants being brought up. Where on the map is that again?
No.
That would be at the border between the Frodros Forest, and the pathway that leads into Kargren on the northwest part of the map. The Blothgren Pass.
Mm-hmm.
That is the only. The label on your map is kind of lower, but like where the path is, that's where the pass is. That is how. That is like the only like walkable, reasonable walking thing that doesn't go over the mountains to get into the Dwarven Kingdoms.
So basically, this entire continent is just, this part of the continent is just chaos.
Yeah, everywhere from the Balwestle Pass to the west is basically war torn. It's really strange how like this stuff is starting to break out.
Hmm. Do we wish to take a task, or should we simply prepare for the week that we have? We could spend it practicing, coordinating, coming up with ideas and perfecting our fighting style, calling out to each other, working on our communication.
We can do that, yes. If we travel to very soon, we can spend all our time working. Just
I think
together,
that's really smart.
Okay. And we get to very soon. We talk to Archmage Amelia. We ask her, hey, can you bring us back to Ferestyl? Teleport.
Or we can ask her to send us to Ashtomud, but the problem is we still don't have our gear.
Maybe something. But today, we tell Kregon, we ask him, can we do 1 week? And we pay more. Okay. And then we tell him we will come back to his shop in 1 week and we take the items. Okay? Okay. Good. So, we get up. And we start heading to Kregon.
Yeah, it's just right across the square. It doesn't take very long. So you enter into the shop, and he already has his forge blazing and is currently working on some metal. You're already back. Missed me, huh?
It's been 2 weeks, right?
Done already?
It's been 30 minutes.
It felt longer.
So, we have to rush. We have many business.
God.
Yeah.
So do you want me to rush on your behalf?
Ken?
So you would like me to put all my other orders on hold to help you get your stuff done a little bit faster. Am I understanding that
We
correctly?
will pay you more.
Done.
How much?
Okay.
This is a business.
Yeah. So, how much?
How much?
Maybe.
You've already paid, what, 400 gold? All right. Put his hands through his beard.
Nazmir, help negotiate.
I'll pull out 30 platinum pieces.
That's a good start.
Put 30 platinum pieces on the table.
But 40 more, and that's your whole
Wow.
payment. And let me tell you, these weapons will knock your socks off.
Hey, I'm not wearing socks.
Metaphorically.
Well, if it helps get the job done, I'll throw in 20. I'll throw in 20 myself.
700 total. You'll
Well,
throw in 20?
So you
If we decide to go through with it.
1100 gold is
700?
chump change and Ferestyl. What are you, poor? Couldn't imagine.
Hmm.
How much are we missing?
No, okay. And I'll take it up from the party funds. I'll put 20 down, and then 20 from Cormac.
Aye.
Okay, 20.
In combination with the 30 that you already put down.
Yep.
All right, so you guys have paid 1100 gold to this dude to rush to work for into a week.
Okay. So 1 week, we come back, and it is done.
You have my guarantee.
Thank you. Craig on.
Oh, no problem. You're paying me.
For 1 week, we pay you. You are Smith.
Brilliant.
When we come back, maybe I'll talk to you about this demon iron. You can tell me what this sword can do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
Okay.
Or are you going to continue to interrupt me?
No. Goodbye. Okay.
All
Back to
right.
what? Okay,
Yeah,
off
yeah.
we go.
Yeah. Nazmir's gonna linger and inspect his work for a moment, looking quite impressed, and then move on.
You notice as he goes back to heating up the metal and working it out of the anvil, his tattoos are blazing with light right now. It appears that his tattoos, rather than affecting his combat prowess, help him with his craft.
Oh.
Interesting. Magic tattoos. And he leaves. This guy clearly doesn't want to be distracted.
Cormac just kind of rubs his beard. Gotta give me some of those.
While we're walking out, Aspen's gonna be walking, and then he's suddenly gonna tense up and make a pained face.
You okay?
It feels like my arm that isn't there is hurting.
Ow.
I don't know.
Almost like
Let me
the
see
face of
your
Phantom.
arms. Well, your arm.
My half of an arm.
And Astra is gonna kind of have you hold your arm out, and then at the shoulder, she's gonna take her fingers, press them both into your shoulders, press down a little bit, and then just keep going. And obviously, on one side, your arm is gonna end pretty quick. But she's gonna keep pressing down the forearm of the arm you still have, and she's hoping that it will translate to your phantom arm and help distract you of your pain. It's something that she's seen. It's a nerve redirection technique, Aspen.
Make a medicine check.
It should help you.
Oh.
It should, but it doesn't.
Oh no.
It just makes you very
Ew.
uncomfortable. It actually kind of hurts a little bit more now.
Why are we
Pinched your
still
pressure
here
point.
just to suffer?
Dang. Oops.
Is that
My-
number 4?
And
I'm still having the pain, but my right arm is numb now.
That is working.
But the numbness of your right arm should make you forget about your left, right?
No,
Left, right. Oh.
And with that numbness and major discomfort now in both your non-existent arm and your existent arm, and many paths laid out before you, that is where we're going to end our session for the night. And what happens next is a story for another time.
Boom, boom, boom.
So everyone, we will be continuing the story, next week. Next was at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on twitch.tv/prestige GC. Ending the session a little bit early tonight, which, is perfectly fine. That's a great stopping point where we're leaving off for the evening as we continue to recover from our trip to Seattle, Washington, and multitude hours of flights and walking. Did you know how many hills they have in Washington, by the way? So many hills. Like, everywhere is a hill. But more into that later. Come join our Discord if you haven't already. Talk to us, hang out with us, play video games with us. This is a community of people that come together, play games. It's not just like a focus group that everybody focuses on. It's literally a ton of people that do things together. This is just one of our featured programs with a select number of people. But, I'm going to kind of pass it on over to Astra, our Firbolg druid.
Woohoo! Exciting session. I'm very, very hopeful for our next few sessions. We're going to start to see some of these storylines develop, intertwine. I personally have a lot of really good ideas up my sleeve that I haven't shared with the group yet.
Like attacking random NPCs?
Outside of that, don't worry, there's more. It gets better.
There's more at NPCs yet.
Join us every Wednesday to find out. Until then, I'll pass over to Aspen, played by Jeremiah, and he is our other for Bulkjerd.
Wow, what a session. It was very a lot of intense moral questioning going on, and the panic that ensued because of Astro turning into a tree that I had a partial experience with, actually. In our in-person session in Seattle. as my Firbolg paladin was undergoing the same thing. But with all that said, we do have a lot to think about. And next week I can't wait to have that all figured out, at least a little bit of it figured out, with hopefully a fuller party. And yeah, I can't really say anything except, thank you all for joining. It's a good session, and I can't wait for next week. And with that, I'll pass it over to Noah, aka Zulkifli, our human blood hunter.
Hey friends, it's good to be back. Yeah, it's been, too long. It's been 120 hours since the campaign started. I will say. This is session 30. It's been a lot longer than that with Prestige. Actually, isn't it true that this is our 3rd anniversary?
This week would be the 3rd week of Prestige Encounters existing.
That's incredible. Well, 3 years running and still running strong, and I'm very, very proud to be part of that. Thanks everybody for being here too. And with that, I'll pass it over to Cormac. Keep it up, buddy.
Thank you so much, Noah. Yeah, as always, great session. Glad to be back. Don't really have much else to say other than it was a great session. Of course, thank you to everybody that was in chat. Of course, the raiders that joined us there briefly. Thank you, of course, to all our wonderful players. And of course, many thanks as well for putting this whole campaign together, our wonderful DM Salkos. And unfortunately, again, where I would pass it off excuse me, where I would pass it off to Nazmir. Fortunately, he couldn't join us again this week, but hopefully next week.
He's got the ick.
Oh, he's got the ick? Oh, it's a different thing this time. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, Nazmir, if you hear this wherever you are, hope you get better, buddy. Hope to see you next week. So, yeah, with that, I'll pass it off to Jaden.
Thank you. It's nice to be back, guys. Honestly, 2 weeks is a lot longer than it feels like. Or no, the opposite of that. It felt longer than it was. But, pretty good session, very solid. We have a lot of open paths now, and whatever we choose, it's going to be exciting. There's going to be a lot of great combat. I don't know about you guys, but I'm very excited for whatever our next combat encounter is going to be, because level 7 is surprisingly a really good level for like everybody. Surprisingly big, especially if you're multi-classing. It's great. So I'm very excited for that. Can't wait for the next session. No, that's all I really gotta say. That being said, I'm gonna pass it over to Casimir.
Excellent. Fun session. Lots of laughs. Casimir pulling the big dad energy a couple times, which is a fun new experience for me. I will always love Chaos Crew when it comes up. A little Murdo Herbo, it makes D&D go round. But yeah, let's say actually a big session, even with the opening insanity, and I think it's the first time I played a game where a person turned into a tree. So yeah, good puns, lots of fun jokes, and we're getting to see that the options are ahead of us, but they all seem to be pointing in a couple directions, which is interesting. The plot doth thicken, and we will only find out more as our wonderful Dungeon Master leads us forward.
Are you passing it over to me? Okay.
Yeah.
So
Start.
thank you so much for tuning in tonight. It's been great. We love having you. And that is where we're going to be ending our session for this evening. If you haven't already, please join our Discord, play games with us. It's a really fun time. If you were somebody who stopped in from us meeting you at Seattle Comic Con, fantastic to have you here as well. We love you. It was really fun meeting you. And keep an eye on our TikTok for some very exciting trivia videos where a group of like 10-year-old boys got all the questions right that a bunch of other nerds couldn't. So
Dude, spoilers.
Oh man.
So everyone, we will see you next week at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at twitch.tv for session 31 at Procedure Galleries. Until the next time, bye.
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 Bye.